Nation, my peeps, what's good? What's good? What's good? It's been a long, crazy weekend. Lots of movers in the draft. I'm sure by the time it starts, some winners, some losers. We'll get into all that. Well, I guess not really losers. I should say risers and fallers in the draft. Um, we'll get into all that, break all that down. First, my peeps in the building. Robert Pena, what's good? What's good? Raider Ryan, as always. Tatted Raiderette, what's good? What's good? Appreciate you pulling up. Let's help Rebel by keeping comments and hitting those likes and subscribe. Yes, what she said. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. So, how's everybody doing on this Sunday? How's everybody's weekend? Let me know in the comments. Drop it in the chat. How was y'all's weekend? What did you think about the draft? Who was your movers? Who was your biggest winners in this draft at any position? We'll break down each position. We'll go over them here in a second. But first, I want to get y'all's thoughts. Who you thought, you know, made the biggest impression, any position? I thought overall my biggest impression was, damn, did all these people drink Red Bull before everybody had wings. They was flying through that through the 40, through the shuttle, through everything. These guys are moving, the running backs, the safeties. Oh my god. Um Nick Emmanuel uh Nick Emanwari, however you say his last name, Emanwari, is an absolute freak of nature. 6'3", 220 pounds, runs a 4.3840. It's Have I been muted this whole damn time? That's pretty bullshit. So let me know. Could y'all hear me? Anyway, doing good. Shout out Melissa. Somebody answered. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Not bad. Working nights. Just wanted to pop in. Working nights. Whew, man, I hated working on the night crew. That shit was rough. By the time you wake up, your day's gone. You don't get to do much unless you're an early riser and you don't get much sleep. Then nights is rough, especially catching up. Shout out, shout out. Um, so yeah, Nicky Manwari is that dude is special, man. I don't know where he's gonna go. I'm sure somewhere in the first round. But let me know y'all's thoughts. I know from the history, from what I looked at Pete Carroll, he don't really draft in the first round. I've talked about it before. He likes to trade back. Is there a possibility we trade the number 6 spot and then move back up to take a man like Nick Emanwari? I mean, he fits that Pete Carroll. He's got Pete Carroll written all over him. Pause if necessary. Uh, the size, the speed, the quickness. Might have to work on some things, but I mean, who doesn't, right? So, let me know what y'all think in the comments. What did y'all think about the quarterbacks? Drop your comments in there. But I'm gonna start off first, of course, since we were already talking about them. The corners, man. The corners were just fast. All the drills I thought were quick, up to date. I gotta make sure this thing is all right. All the drills were on point. They looked like they were, wide receivers out there catching in the drills. Of course, we just talked about Eman Worry, uh, Jalen Reed from Penn State. Not super fast, 4.5. I mean, that's definitely safety speed. I think they say what 4.54 and below is upper tier. I don't know what the elite is, somewhere in there. Um, Marquez Siegel, I think Kansas State University was another guy that was just flying around in the drills. I think he ran a 4.37, I do believe. Man was just killing it out there. So the prospects, um, the prospects out there are just, I don't know. I think this draft is a lot deeper than a lot of people thought. I thought the wide receivers impressed a lot in pretty much every category, especially the 40 time, man. The 40 time, the explosiveness and the high jump and the long jump. Some of these dudes were killing it. Shout out to my guy Isaac Tesla, Arkansas Razorback, ran a 4.44 something like that. To man is 6'5", 6'6", 200 something pounds. Absolutely crazy for a wide receiver to that big and that size to move that fast. Definitely a riser in this draft. Shout out Raph, what's good? Appreciate you pulling up. Of course, Malik Starks out of Georgia. Not the fastest 40 time, but in everything else, I thought performed. Top of the charts to me. I kind of went by stars with each player. So each drill, I write down star or X or a slash for oh my god, that's horrible. But um, not too many slashes. I had three. I won't tell you who they are because I don't want to blast nobody like that. Um, I thought Greg Woodson on the drills was pretty good. No relation to Charles. Not the fastest on the 40 time, but I mean a 4.46, pretty damn good. Billy Bowman Jr. I thought stood out a lot. So there's a lot of corners. Corners are pretty deep in this draft. Um, I think the fallers I would have to say would definitely be the guys that didn't compete, the guys that didn't show up. That's a big thing is competition, competition, competition. Um, let's see what we got. Linebacker wise, of course, there's no doubt in my mind who I think, one of them did not perform, but who I thought was the top guy as a linebacker was Jahad Barron out of Texas. There's no doubt about it. The kid killed it in every category. I thought definitely a first rounder in my opinion. Some had him projected top early second. I just don't think a kid like that makes it out of the first round. Um, Kobe Bryant, a lot of people have been had him on their draft boards out of Kansas. I thought had a decent day. Zoff Frazier, UTSA guy, ran a 4.3940. Shout out to Zoff Frazier. So I thought his stack went up. Another guy that was tops on the list, I thought, was Maxwell Harrison out of Kentucky. Yeah, killed it, killed it, killed it. Those are not linebackers; those are all corners. What am I talking about? Y'all know what I mean. Corner list. Good lord. Um, Linebackers. Other page. Other page. Jahad Campbell. Absolutely no doubt about it. First round pick. Maybe in the top 10, top 15. I mean, with the numbers he put up, I mean, if you watch tape on him, you already know what he could do. The man's just a freak of nature, ran a 4.52. Not the greatest, but in this class for linebackers, pretty damn fast. I thought the linebacker Eugene Austin at Auburn had a pretty good showing. Kind of moved up the board, I thought, in my mind. Um, who else? Florida, Shamir James, not the fastest guy, but in the drills, I thought was on point with with his footwork, his timing, his quickness. Um, Jack Kaiser at a Notre Dame, I thought same another thing in the drills, just killed it. Demetrius Knight Jr., another guy that was, I mean, shit. There's a lot of linebackers. So I had one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. What Nick Martin, Francisco something, I don't even know his name. The UCLA linebacker, Uh, Kane Madrano, I thought did pretty decent in the drills. Not the fastest guy. I think he ran a 4.6, 4.46. Pretty damn fast for a linebacker. I thought that upped his stock a little bit. Chris Paul Jr. I thought had a decent day out of Ole Miss. And Oklahoma, Danny Stutman ran a 4.52. Man, that's pretty good timing. I think that's gonna up this up this stock a little bit. Put him up there and being able to coverage and be that Mike one. We will see. Edge rushers. Ja Joyner is a big man to run a 4.61. In my opinion, I thought that was crazy fast. Fidel Diggs, I thought had a phenomenal day in the 10 split. Ran a 1.6 and a 4.68 and a 4.57 and a 40. I thought that was phenomenal time for for the size of that man. Um, Ahmed Hassan or Hassan, I don't know how you say his last name. Sorry if I butchered it. Not the fastest times. Ran a 4.82. I mean, for an edge, but in the drills, man, looked smooth. Footwork looked nice. Looked like he was very strong. I thought that dude killed it. Raider Ryan says Maxwell Harrison, best there was in the vertical. Yes, I got Maxwell Harrison on that list, absolutely for sure. Uh, Edge rusher. What else we got? My Arkansas Razorback, the big man, Mister Clean himself, Landon Jaxson, 1.65 was second best in the 10 split and ran a 4.68. I mean, that's moving for that man's size. I think he's like 260 pounds running a 4.68. So definitely moved up some boards. I've already seen some mock drafts where they are the top 5 edge rushers. Some people have them at 3, which I don't know about that. But damn, shout out to my Razorback Woo Pig on for that. Elijah Roberts, 4.78, ran the 10 split in a 1.67. That for that man's size is absolutely moving. Has just a huge waist and legs. I don't, that dude's going to be hard to stop people from getting, uh, tackles from him getting around them. Uh, where'd I leave off? Elijah Roberts, yes. Um, Texas Barons Sorrell, I thought, ran a 4.68 40. That man was absolutely cooking. Did well in all the drills. Not a name or a guy that I really, paid attention to, but I'm gonna have to go back and watch some tape on for absolutely. Um, Shamar Stewart ran a 4.59, ran a 1.58 in the 10 split. That is getting it in your first 10 yards. That is moving, which you probably don't have to run 10 yards, close to that to get to a quarterback in the backfield. So, with that time, bro, quarterbacks ain't got much time to think. So I thought he was very, very impressive in all the drills. Also, Shamar Stewart, um, another Arkansas boy, but Central Arkansas. David Walker was insane. Like, I don't know. Let me know in the comments what y'all thought about David Walker. But I thought David Walker was flying around. I mean, 4.69, 1.66, 10 split, crushed it in all the drills. You know, mostly with the defensive tackles and the edges. I'm looking at the bag. Shout out D Menace. Shout out Just Raider Baby. Who else I miss? Melissa. Raiders Allegiance was good. Appreciate you pulling. Joanna, appreciate you. I forgot to you, right? All right, make sure I didn't miss nobody. So let me know what y'all thought about, edge rusher, who you thought was your main guy, who impressed you the most. Tyler, what's good? Appreciate you, my guy, for pulling up. I don't know why it says edge. I guess it's edge and defensive tackle. Messing up. Oh yeah, so now back to the corners. Uh Jahad Barron, I already said that, from Texas, killed it. Kobe Bryant, Zaw Frazier, Maxwell Harrison, I thought was insane out there, and another guy that would totally fit in that Legion of Doom style. Pete Carroll defense. We will see what they go in the draft, but the way these guys performed out there, defensive line, linebacker, safety, corners, with the free agents we have, it could be a deep, very deep defensive draft. When I was thinking it was going to be a lot more offense. Let me know in the comments what y'all thought. If you thought it was going to be more of an offensive draft, we have more offensive needs than we have defensive needs. Um, Bilal Cone, I thought was pretty impressive. 4.43 40, not too bad. Upton Stout, I thought Upton Stout was all over in the drills. You know, ran 110% in everything, no matter what it was. Just ran till they blew the whistle, told him to stop. I've watched Kid on that tape. I've talked about corners. I've done lives about him. He was definitely in the top. Definitely impressive. Um, I don't know why I had Isaiah Waxter. I thought was pretty good in the drills. I think I had Darian Porter. So yeah, that's that on that. Safety wise, man, there's all kinds of safeties. I wanted to get into quarterback. Gravy was good. Appreciate you pulling up. I need my phone. I guess if anybody wants to pull up, I could drop a link in the chat. I don't know what y'all are doing, but maybe I could drop a link in the chat. All right, maybe I can't drop a link in the chat. Well, give me a minute. Um, Got to get some stuff done. Appreciate you. Thanks for pulling up. Billy D in the building. What's good with you, my guy? How was your weekend? All right, so I guess safety wise, like I said, uh, Elias Clark. I don't know how you say his first name. I thought it stood out pretty good. Rayon Lane at a Navy, not the fastest guy, but in the drills, I thought was very solid. Who else did I have on there? R.J. Mickens at a Clemson, I thought did pretty solid in the drills. Texas, Andrew Nabuka, man, another guy that was just flying around, 4.46 speed, crazy fast for some of the for these guys. The broad jump, the high jump, man, the hips and legs on some of these guys and the explosiveness is scary. Actually, it's pretty scary. D-Menace in the building. And yeah, I don't. Oh, Billy Bowman Jr. I thought Billy Bowman Jr. was very solid. Like I don't. I haven't done enough homework to what rounds. If y'all know any of these guys, let me know what rounds you think. Who do you guys like at the combine today? I didn't get to watch it. Offensive lineman. I had two names that I didn't know really much about or anything about. One I thought was Carson Vincent. I don't even know what school he plays for. I just wrote down the name and wrote down "wow" next to it. I talked about it in a live earlier. I thought that man was very explosive in all the drills. Looked pretty powerful and strong, and just kind of stood out to me. And then Jared Wilson was another guy that I haven't watched really anything on. Haven't seen any tape out of Georgia. I do believe he's a guard. I'm not positive he plays guard or tackle, but I thought that man killed it in everything, in the 40 time, in all the drills. Very explosive, very fast. Reminded me kind of like a DJ Glaze style. So I thought that dude was very explosive. And then man, what's the kid out of Alabama? Will, what the fuck is his name? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Not Alabama, LSU. The tackle. I thought Will Campbell. I thought that that dude murdered it in everything possible. The only problem with him is his measurements. They say it. He has small arms, but they've said that about a lot of guys who have turned out to be, you know, I don't know, Pro Bowl maybe, but I'm sure there are some Pro Bowlers with small arms. Yes, Will Campbell. Shout out LVR in the building. Been saying the whole time, Jackson Dart is the second best quarterback in this draft after Cam Ward. You and me both, bro. I mean, I've been saying it on my live since I told y'all since the Arkansas Razorback game. I was like, dude, if he's not the best quarterback in this draft, smack me. Somebody come smack me because that kid killed it in that game, bro. What, 5 touchdowns, almost 600 yards against a pretty solid defense. And I was sold on him before that. But after the ass whooping my Hogs took by Ole Miss, I was like, man. So I'm with you. I know. I would go as far to say there's a battle for number one. I mean, physically, mobily, all that. Now he doesn't have the arm strength. I don't think that Cam Moore does. But other than that, man, he's killing it everywhere else. Killing it everywhere else. So um shout out to Jackson Dart. We all knew that. Will Campbell, but just murdered it. My guy, Just Raiders baby said, my favorite guy in this draft is Gray Zabel. I'm not gonna say I've known Gray Zabel or I've been on that train since he came in college or any shit like that because I had no idea who Gray Zabel was until the Senior Bowl or not the Senior Bowl, the whatever bowl where they were doing the Shrine Bowl where they were doing the workouts. And man, dude was just holding his own against everybody, all the top edge rushers, Mike Green, all these guys. They put him at every spot, and I was like, dude, that's the guy we need. The mobility, the quickness. Lawrence, my guy, it's been a minute. Appreciate you pulling up. Uh, all that. So D Menace, can you make people mods? But yeah, Crazy Abel is just definitely, definitely going to be one of the top tools in the show for anybody that decides to draft that guy, whether it be the first round, the second round. If he makes it to the second round, there is something wrong with these scouts and these NFL teams. When you take chances on guys like Alex Leatherwood in the first round, and and you're telling me that Gray Zabel is not a first round pick in hell, I just I don't see it, bro. I don't see it. So He's going very, very high in my opinion. If he doesn't, I've been wrong before. Um, Will Campbell would be a good pick at 6 if he's there. Or move him to guard. Guard would be a damn good spot for him, but I think he wants to play tackle. I would try it out. Definitely in camp, see where he fits in. Uh, my guy LVR, you know, is the guy that turned me on to Wyatt Milam. I thought he was very impressive today. I watched tape on him. I was very impressed. The man doesn't let go is on. It's very hard for guys to get past him, whether they're fast, whether they're strong, whether they're low centered of gravity, whether they play with high pad level. It does not matter whether they have, good technique. It's hard to get around this guy. So I thought he's very physical. We definitely need physicality on the offensive line. Everybody knows that. So uh, I thought White played damn good. The mullet dude. What's mullet dude's name? I was telling everybody his name earlier, and now I can't remember. It's ridiculous. 831 Raider was good. Raiders, have you heard the rumors about the interview done at the combine? Were there any players the Raiders liked? From what I've heard, they were very, very, very impressed with Jaxson Dart. I don't know if they've interviewed him yet or talked to him, but I know they plan to. Matthew Golden has been very high on their list, and with the way the kid ran today or yesterday, definitely going to be way. Yeah, Tate Ratledge, you got my guy's always got me LVR in the building. I appreciate you. So, no, I haven't heard any rumors. I kind of watched the draft, was in somebody else's live earlier, and then got set up for this one. So I got to do a whole bunch of watching interviews at the combine. I haven't really watched interviews, but Jaxson Dart I seen. A couple of offensive linemen I was trying to pay attention to. So no rumors, no rumors. But as soon as I find out, if it's a rumor that I think could have, spark to it instead of just smoke, I will definitely be on to drop it for sure. Just Raider baby salute. Did D Menace answer me? He's probably at work. Yeah, mullet dude. Because man, the dude had the locks, bro. He got the business in the front, party in the back. Had his shit just flowing when he was running. If his arm went up to the right, his hair went to the left. If his arm went up to the left, his hair went to the right. That he had the locks flowing, bro. That shit was fire. Mullet dude was rocking the Joe Dirt Tay style all day. Like, yeah, he was killing it. Tate Ratledge, shout out to my man. What is the guard at a Georgia? And look, anybody out of Georgia. Okay, I did hear a rumor. I take that back. I did hear a rumor at the combine. I've heard the Raiders have said they are very intrigued with everybody that comes out of Georgia from now on after Brock Bowers. They just like what they get from there, which I mean, after Zamir White, you might be a little hesitant to think that all of them are great. No, I'm just kidding because we don't know what Zamir could be. I hate the dog on my guy, but yeah, they like Georgia guys a lot. So and there's a lot of them. There's definitely a lot of them at safety, at running back, at guard, at tackle. There's a lot. From the interviews, they were impressed with Quinn Ewers, Joe Milton process, and vision. From what I heard, Tayshawn Reed say, I did hear that. I did hear that they were impressed with Quinn Ewers in the interview. I don't think it's anything to write home about. He had an okay combine. It wasn't the greatest. I thought he could have did a little bit better, but he made some damn good throws. He showed he had zip on the ball. Um, it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress, but we're gonna go over here in a minute. First round picks, first round picks of the last couple years, and break that down as soon as we finish up this. And Joe Milton, I heard somehow, I was gonna wait till later to talk about quarterbacks, but since we brought it up, I thought Joe Milton had an awful day. I'm not gonna lie. I seen three, maybe four passes that were solid. They weren't even great or good. They were okay. And then the rest were behind the receiver, over the receiver, not even in the ballpark of the receiver. I thought it was rough. I thought it was rough. And I said, months ago or whatever, a month or two ago when he said he was, entering the draft, I really, really thought he was staying in school. That's what I had heard from, a bunch of people saying uh Milrow was staying in school. And he probably should have. He definitely it wouldn't have hurt him, if you had another year of eligibility, now you get paid and all that, it definitely wouldn't have hurt his stock. But then if you look at the quarterbacks that are coming out next year, he might not get as lucky and go in the second round or somehow crazily picked in the first would be a wild. That would be one of the biggest reaches um since Jamarcus Russell. I mean that would be crazy. But I've talked about Joe Milton like a month ago, 2 months ago. I said the only thing that impressed me was the dude had his master's degree, and he was still had a year of eligibility left in college, and already had his master's and was going after another's master's. So the intelligence is there, the physicality is there. He has a physique that I, I don't. The dude is chiseled. His lower body is crazy. He looks like a running back. He has a strong arm. He just can't put it all together, and that's a problem. Now, if a team's willing to take him in the second or late in the first round or as a project, I mean, you know, it's happened before, right? They did it with Anthony Richardson. What was Anthony Richardson? A third round, fourth round pick to projected to be, and then ended up being the third overall pick after the combine. But he balled out at the combine. Maybe Jalen Milrow could have a better pro day. You throwing to his receivers, I don't know, but I thought it was rough. I thought it was rough. Now, again, a lot of teams have said that they like the interview process. I heard that from Hondo Carpenter earlier today. I was watching before I came on my live. I was listening to Hondo, and he said, like 90% of the teams were really, really impressed with the interview process for Jalen Milrow, which I can understand. I've talked about his intelligence. He's a very, very smart kid. Shout out to Hondo Carpenter. Go back and watch the interview because he had some very, very good things to say about Jalen Milrow. Uh, while we're on the quarterback subject, Will Howard. I thought Will Howard had a rough day. Now, I know he played longer than anybody this year besides Riley Leonard, who I thought just killed it today. So, for Will Howard, is he one of those guys that's all about, timing with your receiver? Can he not throw it on anticipation? Because a lot of these drills are anticipation drills. You don't have timing with the guys. You get to go out there and throw with them for a little bit, but it's not the drills that they're running. You don't know what the drills are. So when it comes to running those drills, most of them are timing, anticipation. Can you throw a receiver open? And how are you going to throw a receiver open that's wide open? Well, if you don't know how fast they are, you have no timing with that guy. You got to put the ball in front of him, which is leading the receiver, throwing them open. So I thought when it came to that, bro, it was he looked rough. He looked rough. My guy Lawrence says yours is terrible. It's a disgrace that Arch isn't starting all year. Yeah, but when you got a kid that, last year was projected to be one of the top quarterbacks, you got to give him a chance. And I thought Texas had a way better shot. Rick, my guy, what's up? Appreciate you. I definitely thought Texas had a way better shot, but Arch is going to get his shot, man. He's going to be that guy. And you hear all the talk about, oh, wait till next year and take Arch Manning. He's not going anywhere. That dude's going to be the quarterback for Texas until he graduates. His parents ain't going to let him leave early. Yes, Milrow. Thank you, LVR. Yes to Milrow. I said Milrow, right? I don't know. Was I saying Milton? I don't know. Um, what else we got? If we need to develop a quarterback, we should just take Milrow in the second and let him develop. I wouldn't hate on that. I wouldn't hate on that. I believe he can definitely be that Jalen Hurts type of guy. Jalen Hurts was drafted in the second round out of Alabama. He wasn't the best passer. I don't remember his combine. I'll have to go back and see if I can find tape on it. I'm sure it's all over the internet. Or I don't remember watching his combine. So I don't know. I can't speak on Jalen Hurts' combine because I can't. It's not coming to my mind. I can't recall if he even threw at the combine. I don't know. Um, but he can be that dude. He could be that dude. I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks that could be that guy. You have to have number one defense and the number one running game in the NFL are close to it, to be that guy. So, um, I said Milton meant Milrow. Yeah, I got you. I was just wondering if I was reading what you said or if I actually said Milrow. uh, but yeah, I mean, somebody's gonna take a chance if they let him sit like a Jordan Love for 2-3 years. Somebody's gonna pull the trigger. Somebody's gonna pull the trigger. Um, Again, Will Howard. I thought Dylan Gabriel. How did y'all feel about Dylan Gabriel? Let's do this before I start. Look, I'll give y'all a second. I know there's a delay. How did y'all feel about Dylan Gabriel's performance at the combine? Why can't I post a link in my own video? That's wild. All right, damn. The delay's not that long, so I guess I better start talking. All right, so I'm gonna pull this up. Share screen. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Dun, 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 dun. All right, so since we're talking about Jalen Milrow, we haven't quite got into what I was going to talk about. Actually, I'm not going to pull this up yet. Scratch that. Scratch that. I'll pull that up in a minute. We got other quarterbacks to get into. Like I said, Will Howard, I thought looked a little rough out there. His timing was off. Milrow, I think this might be a hot take. Maybe not. I don't know. When it comes to Jalen Milrow, I thought he really, really hurt his draft stock. Now, maybe he's not worried about it. Maybe he believes he's the solid number 3 and he's going to be picked, late in the first round or early in the second, third, wherever quarterbacks decide to go after the so-called top two or three now, however you want to put it. But if you're the most athletic quarterback in the whole entire draft, why would you not run the 40 time? Why would you not participate in any, not just the 40 time, any of the athletic drills? He didn't do the high jump, he didn't do the broad jump. You didn't participate in any of those drills. Just doesn't make sense to me. Like maybe he's going to do it at his pro day. I mean, I'm sure he will. You got to have those measurements. I'm sure in the NFL they need those measurements, so he's going to have to do it eventually. But why wouldn't you do it at the combine? Like that's it was a chance for you to be Jaxson Dart and come out there and kill it like he did and have your draft stock just, skyrocket. I believe the performance that Jaxson Dart put on skyrocketed, and definitely there are talks all over the NFL, all over social media, everywhere that Jaxson Dart very well could be quarterback number 2 in this draft. And by the time it's all said and done, I mean, when the pro days are over, he could very well be quarterback number 1. He's not as much of a gunslinger as a Cam Ward. He doesn't trust his arm as much as Cam Ward's to take those crazy decisions Cam will that I believe when he gets to the NFL level are going to hurt him if he tries to, get away with some of the stuff he got away with in college. And that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Also, where's my quarterback list? Hold up. My guy says Ravens will probably pick up Milroe as a backup to Lamar. I mean, to me, that makes absolutely. Makes absolute great sense. But didn't they already try to do that? Didn't they draft Malik Willis or something like not too long ago? I don't know. One of those guys. But I mean, yeah, that makes sense to me. Put him behind Lamar. Lamar was, could be a Shador Sanders and slide all the way down. Okay, we'll get to that later. But Lamar Jackson, way more athletic than some of these so-called quarterbacks that are going in the first round or 1 or 2. Had a way stronger arm throwing wise. Just wasn't as accurate. Kind of like a Joe Milton. Just didn't have, couldn't put it all together. And for some people, it just takes time. Look at Sam Darnold. Look at Baker Mayfield. Look at our very own Rich Gannon. How many teams was he on and how long was he in the league before he came to the Raiders and it just clicked? The list goes on and on. So some people just take time for it to click, for it to hit them prime, or for them to put it all together. They might have the physicality traits, but not the mental traits. It's mental traits, but not the physicality traits. And for you to, put it all together, some people take way longer than others. So he could be that guy. He could not be that guy. He might just not be able to, might have some guys just have I don't want to call it arrogance, but have too much trust or faith or belief in themselves that they can make all the throws, and that's what cost them when it comes to turnovers. But when you're just completely off target, I mean, we seen Brian for the Raiders this year. What happens when guys are completely off target in the combine drills and then get to start? Shit doesn't work out very good. The receivers didn't really do QB any favors. Not the best class. Yeah, there was. I don't know why the if they just picked the wrong receivers or what, because I thought in the gauntlet drills and all the drills that they ran with the receivers, they all caught the ball very well with their hands. No, not too many let the ball get to their body. Very very quick, especially the straight line gauntlet, whatever you call it. I thought they were decent, but when it came to the quarterbacks throwing, there was a lot of drops by the receivers, a lot of drops. Yeah, you're right. It didn't help any of the quarterbacks whatsoever. But so let's get to quarterbacks. Brady Cook. I thought Brady Cook just murdered it. My guy out of Missouri, or not my guy, because Missouri killed my Arkansas Razorbacks the last couple of years. But you know, Brady Cook is mobile. He's fast. He has decent timing. He showed. I thought he missed a couple of throws, but I think everybody missed at least one or two throws or more. So you can't knock him too much. But I thought the drills, the not the drills, the interviews that I watched. What the hell interview did I watch? The McShay show. Todd McShay, I believe. I watched his interview with Tyler Shuck. I thought it was a very good interview. The kid sounds, very intelligent. He's older. He knows football. I thought he was. Tyler Shuck was very impressive. I thought Brady Cook was ballsy for running a 40 time. I mean, not too many guys out there ran a 40 time. What was it? Seth Hennigan, Seth Hennigan, Tyler Shuck, and Brady Cook. So, shout out to those guys for putting your athleticism out there, running a 40 time, and they weren't bad, right? They were all faster than a lot of starting quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Brady Cook ran a 4.6, I thought, but some people said a 4.63. So I don't know why I wrote down a 4.6. I thought that's the time they gave me. Uh, the other guy out of Memphis, Seth Hennigan, 4.78. I mean, for a quarterback, not too bad. And I thought he was pretty decent in throwing in a lot of the drills. And then Tyler Shook again out of Louisville, one of those names that's not really mentioned a lot, but ran a 4.64. I mean, that's pretty damn fast. You're going to outrun a lot of defensive linemen in the NFL and get to the next level. And I mean, that's what most teams want, right? They don't want their quarterback running for 20, 30 yards if they don't have to, taking a chance, getting hit, getting hurt. They just want you picking up first downs, making plays when there's no other play left available. Um, so shout out to those guys for running the 40. But passing wise, Minnesota, Max Brosmer. Now, I don't know nothing about Max Brosmer, but I'm going to watch tape when I get off here on some Minnesota games because I don't know if he has any mobility. But as a pocket passer, his footwork looked nice coming out of the snap. Uh, he was throwing off the right foot, had all the weight, to the front foot, had a quick release and strong ass arm, bro. The dude was throwing it out of the building. Like I thought Jalen Milrow was supposed to be the strongest arm out there. I think Brosmeyer might have had the strongest arm. The balls were, a mile high, a mile deep, and the accuracy was pretty damn good. So for a guy I didn't watch any tape on, which I'm gonna have to now. I'm definitely gonna have to watch now. I thought it was very impressive. Very impressive. Had a damn good arm. I would love to see, some of these guys run the 40 time a couple more. I want to see how fast Dylan Gabriel was, but I guess Will Howard, I would like to see how fast he was. Riley Leonard is another guy that if you've been on this channel before, heard me talk about quarterbacks in this draft. Riley Leonard has been at the top of the list. It was Jaxson Dart, but then everybody started jumping on the Jaxson Dart bandwagon. So I was like, man, I got to find me another quarterback to talk about. And Riley Leonard was that dude. Everything jumped out on tape. People said he was just a, just a mobile quarterback. All he did was run, and he's damn good. He's damn good at running the football, but he's also damn good at throwing. They just put him in a system where they had a solid running game, a defense that kept their offense, kept their offense on the field an awful lot, and they had, thunder and lightning with pretty much the running back and the quarterback. He ran an awful lot, took an awful lot of snaps, and didn't throw too much. But I thought uh, in the championship game and throughout the playoffs, they let him throw a little bit more. and he started to shine a little bit more to me. But the film that I watched at Duke, I believe it was the year before, I thought he was pretty impressive. So shout out to Riley Leonard, man. I'm glad he had a pretty damn good showing. They even put his name up on the screen, you know. So hopefully he'll get a little bit more recognition, and some of these guys will start throwing him into the mix. But I believe at his pro day, when the man does, the athletic shit, he'll be moving up that board for sure. Um, I want to see us sign Drew Peacock. Who the hell is Drew Peacock? I don't have a pen to write that down. Did I miss something? Is it a joke? I mean, I don't know. I don't know who Drew Peacock is, but I will have to look it up. The system of team run makes all the difference in the world in a quarterback's development. 1,000%. That's the problem with all these quarterbacks coming into the NFL. Is for one, they don't develop them. You know, you throw guys into the fire halfway through a season, they win you a bunch of games, go 3-1 in a division, and then you kick them to the curb and bring in a veteran that shits the bed. So and then the next year, it's time to move on. And you're moving on from the guy and you're going with another quarterback again and not even developing guys or giving them a chance. So, yeah, it makes all the sense in the world, the system, where you go. But again, you have to realize that there's a reason these teams are picking in the top 5 and the top 10 because they were ass. And there's a reason they were ass. It's probably because there's a lot of players on the team that's ass. And the coaching staff and probably all around. So they don't really have a chance. But the ones that do have a chance are the teams that that sit and take a chance and develop them. I mean, look at the Buffalo Bills. Nobody thought they were going to take Josh Allen at 9 in that draft over Baker Mayfield. Sam Darnold, I do believe, went third. I don't know, somewhere in there. But they moved up. Then they move up, or were they at 7? I don't know, but how the story goes. But they ended up taking Josh Allen, right? The man, come on, coming into he threw like what, one interception a game or something. It seemed like every big game that they needed to win, the man tried to do too much, threw an interception. But every year he got better. He got better. He got better. And now he's one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL, taking his team to the playoffs every year with, a mid at best defense and a mid at best running game. And he still has his team, competing in the playoffs every single year. So yeah, development is key, and it's Tom Brady has bitched about it in every single game he did this year. And if you don't believe me, go back and watch the games Tom Brady did this year. He complained about quarterback development, and every single game it was brought up about how the NFL doesn't develop guys. They don't give guys enough time. He wants to see guys sit for a year minimum, even if they're drafted a number 1 pick overall, which I'm sure Caleb Williams would have been like, man, I wish I could have sat last year. Not that he had bad stats or numbers. Beating. He took a beating. So yeah, development is definitely key on where you draft guys. Uh yeah, let me pull this up. So again, I thought Riley Leonard killed it. Another guy I thought I was hoping was gonna have a better day, and I really wish he did have a better day, was Kyle McCord at a Syracuse. Now he had a super good year leaving Ohio, coming to a team that had been in the dumps for a while in Syracuse. Got them. They were a 10-3 team. Made it to the bowl game. They won the bowl game. I do believe. Didn't they play my bowl game? Somebody correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. So very impressive. But Graham Mertz, I guess, didn't participate. I didn't see that dude. I don't know. Curtis Rourke, I did not see either. I don't know what's going on with that. If he's only doing his pro day. If I missed it, let me know because I could have missed it. But I don't think I missed it. I think I've been glued to the TV for so many hours. My eyes were bleeding watching this damn combine. Look at Redskins. They've been asked for years. They get Daniels, Kingsbury, and 1 year they made the playoffs. Exactly. Exactly. But which one of those guys are you getting? And they're not Jaden Daniels. That was, I mean, that was a luck. Not even the people that thought Jaden Daniels was going to be good in the NFL thought Jaden Daniels was going to be what Jaden Daniels was this year. So that that was, you know, damn good coaching, damn good development, and them taking, I mean, taking a chance, right? They could have traded that number 2 pick. They could have not believed in Jaden Daniels was that guy and said, you know, we could get all kinds of draft capital. This team is the last team in the division. Um, they had many, many holes to fill. But since they went and got that quarterback, a cheap Marcus Mariota, you know, they didn't swing for the fences. They didn't go out and pay 30, 40, $50 million for a quarterback in the free agency and then draft a starter. No, they drafted a starter, got a decent backup that was, you know, pretty much a match to Jaden Daniels, right? He's mobile, he throws on the run, you know, has all the similarities. They did it right. They did it absolutely right. They went and got not only a head coach that had been a head coach before, but they went and got an offensive coordinator that had been a head coach before. They also went and got you know, their run game coordinator that had been a head coach before. So they have a bunch of head coaches in the building. Very, very, very wise. Very wise. My guy Tyler said, "What would you like to see happen for quarterback consideration? What's available and what we have already?" I don't know. People don't agree with my takes. I say money wise, you know, player wise, building the team wise, it just all makes sense to build this year. Now, if we win games, we win games. If we make the playoffs, great. You know, that's a bigger plus. But to me, right now, with everybody new in the building, including the minority owner, the head coach, the offensive coordinator, the general manager, the you know, assistant general manager, if they bring one in, um, player personnel, everybody from top to bottom in that building, except for a couple guys, have been cleaned out and replaced. So there's a lot of work to do for them. Yes, I know they want to win now. I don't think free agency is the key. I think like we just said with the Redskins, you go get a guy that's been a backup. And to me, if it was me, if I was the coach, now I'm not saying this is what I'd like to see, but if I was the coach, I would just roll with Aiden O'Connell. He's never had a run game. He's never had the same offensive line for even half of a season, let alone an entire season. And I know you could say that with any NFL team because injuries happen, but they didn't know who their starter were, and the starters that they thought were going to be the starters for the season were hurt before the season started, so they had to make shift with it. So there's no continuity there at the offensive line, but I would go get a veteran. I'd go get a veteran like I mean, I don't know, Carson Wentz maybe. You know, Carson Wentz has won a Super Bowl as a young quarterback. He didn't get that opportunity again after, you know, Feely came in and won the Super Bowl when he got hurt. So, I mean, he's bounced around teams. He went to the Rams, Sean McVay's system. Then he goes to the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, that's one of the best veterans that's been around, been through the struggles, has seen it all, has been to Super Bowls, with two different teams. Why not? Why not throw him $3-4 million? It's not going to be much more than that. You save a bunch of money. You draft a quarterback, whether it be in the first round if it's possible. Move up whatever you have to do. I think moving up is just absolutely insane. But if one falls at you at 6, then you go take him. If you're absolutely in love with the quarterback in this draft, which I don't see how anybody could absolutely think, anybody in this draft is a dude, as they call it, which I think is stupid. But so I mean, take one in the second or third round. We just listed off all these quarterbacks. I thought Brady Cook, Jackson Dart, Quinn Ewers, maybe. Dylan Gabriel looked pretty bad. Seth Hennigan didn't look too bad. Will Howard was okay. Riley Leonard, Kyle McCord. We don't know what Graham Ertz is going to do because I think he was injured. So, and Curtis Rourke. Curtis Rourke in Indiana played his ass off. He was a damn good quarterback. He's 6'5", 230 pounds. He fits that protege quarterback. It's another guy that didn't perform today. That's only performing at his pro day. That probably hurt him a lot, especially the way these guys, a bunch of these quarterbacks perform. So that's what I would do. I'd go get a veteran quarterback. We have 10, 11 picks in the draft this year. If you have to trade some, next year or this year, or trade some players, you have Michael Mayer that we're not going to use. We're not going to run 12 personnel this year. If we do, it's going to be very, very, very seldom. I could be wrong. Maybe Chip Kelly turns his offense into a 12 personnel offense just because we have Michael Mayer. I don't see that happening. It's a possibility. Michael Mayer is a second round pick out of Notre Dame. There's a lot of teams that need tight ends. There's, pretty good tight ends in this draft also. But would a team be willing, trade a fourth, fifth, sixth round pick for a Michael Mayer? You have Zamir White, who I don't believe we're gonna, use. He might be a free agency. I don't know. I think he's still got one more year on his rookie deal, but I could be wrong. I think maybe he's a free agent. But if not, trade him. You have Parham. We have a lot of guys that we can move and trade that are still, would fit on another team or could help in the right system. But money wise, man, that was Arnie was good, my guy. Money wise is the problem. We have a lot of free agents. I mean, bro, we have as many free agents as guys that ran sub 4.40s in the combine. Like 27 or some shit. Absolutely wild. I don't know where I was. Damn it. Okay, I found it. So who would you pair with Chip Kelly? Um, at quarterback or running back or what? I know a lot of people talk Justin Fields. I mean, just look at his completion percentage, his QBR. Justin Fields makes plays with his legs. He's decent at throwing on the run. He can throw the ball 1,000 yards, but it's not accurate. And you would think, being with the Pittsburgh Steelers, one of the best teams, one of the best coaches, one of the best coaching staffs, that Justin Fields would have proved this year that it wasn't just Chicago and Luke Getsy's offense and, you know, the management of the Chicago Bears that was the problem. Yes, he went 4-2. But in those 4-2 games, they won like 17-13, 13-10. It's not like he was out there lighting it up for 400 yards passing and 3 touchdowns, right? That he looked awful against the Raiders and somehow won that game because they ran the ball down our throat, whether it was both their running backs and Morris are Najee Harris, and then Justin Fields. He got outside the pocket and they just killed us. But when it come to passing, he was horrible. The two games they lost, he was very, very bad. So Justin Fields to me is not an option if you're gonna. I mean, I guess if you're gonna be, just a complete RPO package type team, then I guess you could run with that. I mean, uh, it was spent with your kids. Nice, nice. Always a fun time with the kids. Spend time with my grandkid and my daughter and my son tomorrow for my birthday. Tomorrow's not my birthday; it's Thursday, actually. I think Thursday. I don't know, somewhere in there. Um, but yeah, you got to enjoy every second, especially when they're younger. Two boys and a girl. Nice. I got lucky. I had a girl, then I had a boy, and I was like, I'm done. 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 What else we got? What veteran quarterback would you sign or trade for? Raider D. What? I'm not Raider D, bro. The fuck? What? Come on, man. That's just wrong. I'm gonna have to go shave now. Some bullshit, Arnie. Now I'm gonna freeze the rest of the winter, all because you called me. Nah. You crazy, bro. You crazy, bro. So this might be a crazy take, like all my takes. But what about Sam Howell? Like, what about Mr. Howell? Sammy Howell? Wasn't he drafted in the first round? I'm trying to see if I can pull it up. I think he was drafted in the first round. I don't know, fifth round, wherever. I don't know, fifth round. But Sam Howell could be one of those guys like a Baker Mayfield, right? He has that short, stocky lower body. He could also be one of those guys like a Jalen Hurts who just won the Super Bowl. He throws damn good on the run. He's not slow. He has a bigger build. He could take shots. He could throw the ball down the field. He has a very strong arm. I would trade for Sam Howell. I said it last year, and I'll say it again this year. They're not using him. I don't even know where he got traded to. Anybody know where he got traded to, Mr. Sam Howell? But I think that fits, you know, Chip Kelly's system. He's a guy that has decent accuracy, probably needs to read the field a little bit better, probably on pre snap, but he's been around a little bit longer. I think, different coaches, different system always helps a quarterback out. Just look at the kids coming out of college that have played for two or three different teams in their collegiate career. You know, those guys are shining, and people criticize them for the transfer portal, but to me I think it's helped these guys. You learn, you played in different conferences against different defenses, different style coaching, different style play, and it just evolves your game, in my opinion. So I would trade for a Sam Howell if you're going to trade for somebody. I hear people saying Zach Wilson. That's absolute. I would trade for Sam Howell before I traded for a Zach Wilson. It's cheaper. Zach Wilson is, he played all right with the Jets. I'm not going to hate. He didn't have a very good system, but I mean, damn, if you want to just bring in a backup that could compete, again, I said Carson Wentz wouldn't be a bad idea. Um, I wouldn't go crazy, and I don't think the Raiders are going to go crazy and start reaching for for free agents. They're going to bring in the best possible available cheap option. That's what I see him doing. What message? Why are you messaging me? Okay. Oh, sorry. I didn't see that. Where are we at? My guy Lawrence says, "No, I don't do none of that. Don't even watch the news." My guy Lawrence in the building. Um, Michael Mayers, Amir White, and Minshew, all for a second round pick. Yes or no? No, no. That's no, 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 no. Now I know there's players in this draft. I know you could probably get damn good talent, but come on, now that's too many. That's too many bodies. Now it would definitely help with the roster and the salary cap. Michael Mayer's not making a bunch. Samir White's not making a bunch. Gardner Minshew, I believe, is barring a miracle or somehow the team falls in love with him. You know, I don't see being around. So not for a second. Not for a second. I mean, I don't know. Shit, that's a damn good question, Arnie. I don't know. I, I don't know. I think you could probably get a fifth, maybe a fourth, depending on what team needs. Michael Mayer. He hasn't showed much production, so maybe a sixth. Um, Zamir White still has upside in the right system, I believe, and I think a team might swing for the fences on him. And then Gardner, I don't see. I mean, I guess I'd take a second for all three if somebody's willing to do it. But yeah, there's a lot of players in this draft, but I don't know. If somebody's willing, I guess you'd have to take a shot. They should just put Bowers at receiver, how Gruden did with Darren Waller, and make Mayer tight end. It's a waste to move Mayer for only making 2.5 mil. You need more than one tight end. I mean, I know we need more than one tight end. I thought Shorter did a pretty decent job. The guy they brought in that was a wide receiver, they moved over. And there's cheaper options. There's cheaper options for me. But I want to see I wouldn't mind that. Just use Brock Bowers as that swing guy. Have him have him in the slot. Have him coming out of the backfield. Line him up at fullback. Just line him up all over the field, and keep teams guessing of where he's going to be. Put him in motion constantly. I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that if they're going to use both of them and start them both. I mean, it makes sense to me. And like you said, at 2.5 mil, but his production, and yes, they haven't used Michael Mayer, and I wish they would because I thought this was going to be a big year with 12, 13 personnel. We also have Harrison Bryant that they're paying a crazy amount of money to. They're probably going to move on from him. Hopefully, I mean, he was okay. So, oh my goodness, I'm in the middle of a live. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it definitely makes sense to keep Michael Mayer, but it doesn't make sense to have, two starting caliber tight ends. If you can move them to help get back into the first round, you definitely have to do it, right? If somebody calls and says, "Hey, can I get Michael Mayer for this and this, or if you call a team and say, hey, what does it take to get your 21st pick or to get your 20th pick, and they say whatever it is, and Michael Mayer, I mean, you have to say yes, right? You have to say yes. Quarterback. I think I'm far behind again. Raider D, who are your free agents? Don't make me block your ass, man. Who are your top free agents on the team to re-sign? Top priorities? I mean, the way Trayvon Morrig played, his upside every year, is he worth 15 mil a season plus? I don't know. I don't know. You know, when you look at Emanwari and Maxwell, these guys that balled out in the draft, he could be replaced. He could be replaced with guys I think in this draft that might catch on, and develop a lot faster than Trayvon Morrig. But I mean, he's a Raider. I'd like to see Trayvon, if they can work it out and fit it under the cap, maybe sign him for 4 years and stretch some of it out for the next 2, 3, 4 years. So it's not all on this year. I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that at all. I think, again, Robert Spillane, it just depends on how much he wants, what teams are going to offer him if they let him go to free agency. But, top priorities to me, I think Malcolm Kuntz needs to be back. I would like to see Nate Hobbs back. I think Kayla Von Chasen is definitely a priority. If Jonah Lalu is a free agent, I'm not sure if he is. That's a priority. Those are two guys that must be back on this team. Like, they, for what we got them at, the price we got them at, and the way they performed, they got to come back. And other than that, there's not really too many. I mean, I would let pretty much everybody walk if you could tell me we're getting Trayvon Morrig, Nate Hobbs, Robert Spillane, and Malcolm Kuntz for a decent price. Somewhere like 40, 50 mil, 60, 55 for all of them. I don't think that'd be too bad. I don't think it'd be too bad. And we could still build around them. But I don't feel like I feel like the Kuntz thing is getting farther and farther away unless, they come up with a contract really, really soon. If he hits the market in the next couple days, that could get out of hand where we won't be able to catch up. And it also could land in our favor. There could be teams that aren't willing to pay him shit coming off the injury. There might not be enough on tape, enough flash on tape for those 8 sacks, the 3 forced fumbles, all the pressures he got, like the fumble recovery I think he had. So, I mean, it's hard to say. It's very hard to say. I feel we are going to be stuck with AOC Kyle Trask competing for the starting job. Worst case scenario, I'm having that AOC feeling too, and Kyle Trask might be able to beat Aiden O'Connell out. He did sit behind Tom Brady. He has sat behind Baker Mayfield. Uh, he was drafted up there, like what, second round? I think he was a second round pick. He had a hell of a college career. He wasn't bad at all. So he has the size to be a quarterback. Are you gonna? I mean, is Tampa Bay gonna trade him? What's the price gonna be? Maybe you could trade Kyle Trask for Michael Mayer. I don't know. I don't know. Crazier shit's been done. I wonder what the Bengals would want for Browning. I thought Browning played damn good for the first couple games, but then I thought he started to fall apart. I think the pressure of the NFL got to him. The whole, preparing, I think, for a different scheme every week, a different team. I don't know if that was it. I'm not sure what it was, but he played well in the first couple games. He kept them in a lot of games, but then he started to just make stupid mistakes. And I mean, definitely worth developing, definitely worth looking at. I don't think they'd get rid of a Browning. I mean, but I wouldn't be mad at that. I think AOC is the best option. Hopefully, we get Dart and let him develop. Maybe let him play a second half of the season. I think if they get Dart, he's beating out AOC. As much as I hate to say it, I know AOC is going into his third year in the NFL. He's seen all defenses, everything you're going to throw at him. Jaxson Dart has never seen an NFL defense. I think that comes into play, but his mobility, his confidence in his throws, his ability to throw on the run, you know, that Josh Allen mentality of not slide, take hits. He might beat out Aiden O'Connell very quick. Sam Howell is on the Sea Chickens. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, shit. That's even better, right? He's on the Seahawks. We seen the whole Pete Carroll on the plane the other day, flying first class, talking to the general manager of the Seattle Seahawks and the head coach of the Seahawks, who he's known for an awful long time, I do believe. Um, what were they talking about? Were they talking about Geno Smith? Were they talking about a DK Metcalf? Or were they talking about a Sam Howell? I mean, it could happen. Now that you said that, Arnie, my guy Garza, Sam Howell could have been in that conversation. I mean, very well could have been in that conversation. Our next quarterback will surprise you. No shit. I'm surprised every time they do anything, Rick. What do you mean? That's funny shit. The only thing I will not be surprised with is if it's Aiden O'Connell. And I know you can say my takes are crap, or I don't know shit about football, or however you feel about it. But it's a huge possibility, and I would not be surprised once I tell you I was way more surprised that they started Garner Minshew than I would be if they went with Aiden O'Connell this year. Don't be surprised if Sam comes in. I think he fits that. He fits that critique of everything Tom Brady was talking about when he said, "What's he look for in a quarterback?" He looks for in a quarterback somebody that's stuck around, that stuck it out with the team, that been through the ups and downs, who knows what it's like to to have um, to have adversity, to have failures. So have the brain mentality. I don't know how smart Sam Howell is, or you know, none of that. But from watching film and watching tape, if you put him in the right system, there was pretty some games he had for the Rams. I was like, I mean, for the Rams, for the Washington Commanders, I was like, damn, who the hell is Sam Howell? I had to go back and watch some college film on him. So I like Sam Howell's game. I think in the right system, he could do some things. He could do some things. He did some things for Washington that had a very, very rough offensive line. Their defense was not even close to mid. Um, they had a 20 different uh, running backs and quarterbacks coming through there. Like, you know, he had it rough. He had it rough. And when they started to get a decent team, they traded him. When they started to build around him and the team started to get better, at all positions because they drafted well, because they had him playing quarterback. What, drafted in the fifth round? Hold on, let me see this. another guy that people were like, "Oh, yeah, out of North Carolina." So drafted out of North Carolina, number 144, fifth round pick. Why does it say in the first pick? Is that the first pick of a round? 144? I don't know. Um, so yeah, dude, he could definitely be one of those guys that, has been around the league that oh, sorry, I was fucking he could definitely be one of those guys, drafted late, not too much money on because when he got his shot to come in like a Aiden O'Connell, he performed pretty well. Now it wasn't the greatest. He didn't have the receivers they got now or the running back they got now. I don't believe maybe the last year. Rebel. Where would you rate AOC among 32 starters in the NFL? It's I mean, there's not enough. I don't. There's not enough tape on him to rate him amongst the starters. Every starter in the NFL, except for the rookies, obviously, you know, have been around however many years. A lot, most of them. There's a couple teams that have rookies from last year starting. What, two, three, maybe two teams? So I don't know. It's hard to rank Aiden O'Connell. If you tell me he's going to the Kansas City Chiefs, to the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm ranking him way higher, way higher. So it just depends. And I don't know what the system's going to be. I don't know who his running back's going to be. I don't know if we're going to blow up the offensive line and change everything. If we're going to go with the offensive line we have, which is not going to help him at all. We need some guys to develop a little longer, and I think one or two more pieces at the offensive line and a couple solid depth pieces. At least one guy we can bring in on a jumbo package or something that's not gonna, fold like a lawn chair every time every time the ball snapped or a guy touches them. So that's hard to say, but damn it, I was just looking at a list yesterday of every starting quarterback. Um, we will do that tomorrow, Arnie. Tomorrow, hit the notification button so you know when I'm live if you're not already. We'll break that down tomorrow. We'll rate all the quarterbacks, starting quarterbacks in the NFL, because there's a lot that I think Aiden O'Connell could be better than. And some of them were drafted in the first round and making $40 million a year compared to 1.25 or whatever the hell he's making, 1.45 or some shit. What cheaper option? 2.4, 2.54 mil is nothing in the grand scheme of things. If it was Mayer's last year as a rookie, I would understand, but Meyer's second year left on his deal. No, I'm not. I get that for the price I'm getting. I'm just saying for draft capital. If there's a situation where somebody wants him and they're willing to offer us a spot in the draft that we're trying to accomplish or acquire, then yeah. But I'm not just saying it. I'm not going out like the Rams and saying Matthew Stafford's on the open market. He's willing to talk to teams. No, no, nothing like that. But if teams acquire, about it, then I would entertain it. I would definitely entertain it. But yeah, it makes sense to keep him. Kind of. I mean, he had problems last year, right? He had problems with the up here, I guess, or whatever it was. We don't know. I'm just speculating, which I shouldn't even said that. I apologize. He had problems last year. Nobody knows what those problems were. I think a lot of it had to do with football and mental issues, and the fact that he was drafted to be that guy, and they bring in a Brock Bowers, and now you're not that guy. So his production has been, I mean, not a second round pick. It's been Tyree Wilson, style as a first round pick. It just hasn't been there. Now, it's not his fault because they haven't. He's never that go to guy. When Aiden was in there, I thought he gets the ball a lot more. When Aiden O'Connell's in there and he's in there, that's one of his targets that he looks at. But unfortunately, Aiden didn't get to play much, and Michael Mayer just kind of got shuffled to the back after Brock Bowers. He's a way better blocker than Brock. Um, move him to a fullback. The dude's aggressive. He likes to he likes to block. He's got the size. I don't know about the speed, but we need a fullback. We've been needing a fullback for a long time. If you're not gonna play him or trade him, then find another position for him. Maybe put him at fullback because I just don't see us running a whole lot of 12 personnel. I mean, very very seldom did you see Ohio running it. For Metcalf, yes. For Hal, no. What? Did I miss something? Oh, would you trade Meyer, White, Minshew? Oh, for Sam Howell? Hell no, no way. No, come on, bro. No. Um, I would trade Zamir White for Sam Howell. I would trade Gardner Minshew, straight over for Sam Howell and whatever they wanted, maybe a draft pick. Uh, that's even horrible to say. Gardner Minshew is way worth more. I would trade Gardner for Sam Howell. I would trade Michael Mayer for a Sam Howell. I think Seattle could use him way more than us. I think he would help Geno Smith out a lot. I think he would help out that run game tremendously. Help out their offensive line. I think that would be a smart move for Seattle, but they would probably get the best of it. I'd have to get Sam Howell and something, Sam Howell and something, a sixth, a seventh. You'd have to throw something in there, but no, no, no. I'm not trading that. It has to be a minimum of a third round pick for Mayer, or it's not worth trading him. He was 35 overall second. I get what we spent on him, and I would love to get that. I mean, 100%. I would love to get a third round pick. But if you look at his production, teams are going to question why he doesn't have that production. Like they didn't start him in the first year. So he did, he was played very, very sparingly his rookie year, wasn't used hardly at all, and then Brock Bowers comes in. So teams are going to look at that. They're going to wonder why he disappeared for 10 weeks on a team or 8 weeks or whatever he was gone for. That's all going to come into play. I just don't see his value being a third round with all the stuff that's happened to him and 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 his performance. Now, if we get that, I would 100% take it. But I see, like, somewhere like a four, maybe a fifth even. I mean, come on, they gave up Justin Fields for a sixth round. The Chicago Bears did. There's been way worse trades than that. I don't want to see him go nowhere. I'm gonna make that very very clear. I want to see Michael Mayer on the team, but I want to see him used. Um, I would bring back Kuntz. The injury he had last year had him out all year, and he's basically. Uh, oh, I wouldn't bring back Kuntz. Had him back all. I mean, yeah, but you can't just look at the stats. I've said this before. You got to look at the production of the team. Um, Adam Butler's numbers went down. He had more playing time. Christian Wilkins, he wasn't on the field. You can't really say shit. Max Crosby's numbers dropped drastically, and I know he was injured. I know he missed the last 4 games, but the games that he was in there, his numbers were way, way, way worse than when Malcolm Kuntz was in there. Because Malcolm Kuntz was getting pressure on the quarterback constantly. Like go look at his PFF grade for that half of the season, just for that half. It was crazy. He was constantly in the backfield. He was blowing up run plays. He was started to get double teams. There was a couple games, a lot of games where he was starting to bring double teams. They were chipping him with a running back. They were bringing tight ends in motion to double him. They were getting a lot of help from Malcolm Kuntz, which was freeing up Crosby because you can't double both of the edges. You're just going to get murdered doing that. So it freed up Crosby, and Crosby had his best year ever, I do believe, as a Raider. Wasn't it his best year? 16 and a half sacks or whatever he had. His best year as a Raider was because of Malcolm Kuntz was a big part of it. Now, it's not all Malcolm Kuntz, but he was a huge part of that, in my opinion. That's just what I see. Rebel, why are you not signing our free agents before? Wait, what? Rebel, why are we not signing our own free agents before the signing period? I don't know. I can't see or read. Um, I don't know. Maybe they can't come to terms. Maybe it's taking longer. Maybe they don't value the player's production on the field as much as we as fans value the players. Now, there's a lot of that going around in the NFL. I mean, it's all over the place. So, you know, especially when it comes to the Raiders, we put a more value and more worth on a lot of our players that aren't worth that. That shouldn't be up there. So I don't know. I can't answer that, but it should, it's definitely a priority unless they're just lying to us, and it is lion season. So Spytech could be feeding us a lot of shit. I don't think that's a good way to get the nation behind you as the new as the new GM. I think you want to try to start out being real with the people, and I think they have been pretty transparent with us so far. So they said, you know, that's their number one priority, keeping guys in house. That's what they're working on. That's what they want to do. I see it coming soon, and if it doesn't come before free agency on the 11th, and look for a lot of those guys to be walking, in my opinion. If we don't sign them before the 11th, the the percentage of them actually coming back, or us working out a deal with them, goes way down. Way down. So, like I said, Kuz, but Tyree is far from less money, productive level. I think he'll have a breakout year. I mean, I would go that route too. But that's a big if, though. That's a big if, hoping, Tyree's going to have 8 or 10 sacks this year. I believe Malcolm Coons could have, 12 or 14 or even more, even coming off the season, the injury. Just, I mean, I don't know. Like, again, I could be wrong. It's just me. But from what I see on tape, Malcolm Kuntz is a fucking problem, dude. The dude is a beast. Like, his size, his strength, his quickness, his bend, everything about him. The way he baits tackles. Like, the man is a problem, bro. And maybe it's just me overhyping shit. Like, I was like Malcolm Kuntz when we picked him. I didn't even know who the hell he was, and he sat on the bench, didn't really shine when he got in games, didn't do shit because he never really got that opportunity. And some guys, it takes a rhythm. It takes a rhythm to get into or it takes time to get in a rhythm, and you can't get in a rhythm playing 5 or 6 downs, every quarter, or playing 5 or 6 downs a game, like that's which pretty much was his percentage out there. He just wasn't getting the snaps. Now, is that bad coaching? Is it Patrick Graham missing on these guys? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Because when Robbie Leonard got there, Malcolm Kuntz got a lot more playtime, developed a lot more. And I hope Tyree, man, nobody hopes Tyree Wilson has a breakout year more than me, you, or any other Raider fan. The dude was picked 7th overall. Like, it's, another one of those bad draft picks that we're not going to be able to overcome unless very, very soon he has a 15, 15 sacks or 16 sacks. How many rookies in the last 2 or 3 years have been drafted that have already had 10 plus or 15 plus sack seasons? There's a lot. There is a lot that weren't drafted 7th round, that were drafted less than the 7th round, and are still putting up crazy numbers. So Tyree, man, I just don't see it in him. I just don't see it. Um, where Wilson was developed and improved each year. I mean, I get it. I get it. He has improved, and he's got minimal playtime, and he got better, and production got better when Max Crosby got hurt. I get all that. I just don't see him being fast enough to play the edge. Now, if you put him at defensive tackle, I'm down with that, dude. Tyree Wilson is slow off the snap, but is an excellent bull rusher. We need to play him more at DT. Yep. So, I mean, Arnie just said what I said, or probably said what I said before I said it because I'm way behind in the chat, but now I'm caught up. So, yeah, he definitely needs to be at DT. He's just a freak of nature. His size, his strength, his arm length, his hand is as big as a football helmet. The man is mammoth, bro. And they just play him at the wrong positions. He's not a defensive end. He's never going to be Malcolm Kuntz ever. And I mean, I'll put whatever you want on that. That he is never going to be Malcolm Kuntz. He's never going to have Malcolm Kuntz's production. Malcolm Kuntz's production is a half a season. To see, earlier in that season, there was guys in front of him where he wasn't getting all those reps. And then that guy went cuckoo and Malcolm Kuntz had to play. So, all right, I'm gonna read these last couple, and then I'm gonna get off here. Rebel, who on the roster does not fit our offensive scheme? Who do we need to cut? Who do we need to trade? Um, we need to trade whoever we can get value for, whether it be Andre James, whether it be Michael Mayer, whether it be Colton Miller. Um, whoever's willing to give us, if it's worth the value, and if we have a replacement in mind already, because if we don't, then that's kind of stupid. But who doesn't fit the scheme? We don't know the scheme. Like, we don't know what they're gonna run. We have no clue. We know they're gonna pass the ball enough where you're gonna have 2,000-yard receivers. They're gonna run the ball enough where hopefully you have two good enough running backs to have 1,000 yards apiece or close to it. But Chip Kelly's biggest takeaway I got from his interviews, was the same thing I'm saying now. He doesn't know what his system's going to be. He never really had a system. He's going to let the team dictate, who the quarterback is, who the running backs they have, who the receivers are. All that's going to dictate the scheme. So, it's hard to say who doesn't fit the scheme or not. We're going to have to wait a little bit, right? Till off season, till we know what they're running, which even in the off season, they're really not going to know, what the scheme is. That's going to be a thing that's shit pretty much last minute, right? Preseason, they'll figure out, I guess, what guys they got. Moreg sucks. That's crazy. Wild. That's a wild hot take of the day. Um, so I don't know who fits the scheme, but I do know it's not Madison. I do know I know Andre James uh has ties with Chip Kelly in UCLA. Maybe they try to move him somewhere else. He did play tackle and guard in college. I don't know how that works, but if it doesn't work, we do need depth. I don't see him going anywhere unless somebody calls for Andre James. If they call, I would trade Andre James. I would keep Zamir White just because in system, Zamir White might become very valuable. He might not, but he might. There's a very slim chance he could become valuable in this system. So I'd keep Zamir just to see what we could do with him. And then I don't know who else. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do, or don't have a clue what they're gonna do with Jack Jones. But if they haven't really done anything yet, I'm sure there's not too many teams blowing up their phones saying, "Hey, what do you want for Jack Jones?" But if they do, I'd be willing to part ways for with Jack Jones. Sorry, I was never a really big Jack Jones fan. Like he was decent. He had some, two good interceptions for touchdowns, but his quarterback rating against was just horrible this year. And I don't know how he could change that. Graham 2 pound system sucks. All right. Morrig had career numbers from year to year. Trayvon Morrig was like fifth in the NFL in tackles with over 100, I think 107 tackles. He had two or three interceptions, a bunch of pass breakups, a sack, a couple quarterback hurries, and he started 98%. He played 98% of the snaps. So if that sucks to you, then I mean, damn, bro. What is good? What do you consider good? What do you have to do to be a good safety in the eyes of Grease Deluxe? Nice haircut on the picture, though. Diablo shouldn't be resigned. Oh, I wasn't finished yet. I was just getting on the offense. Um, yeah, I mean, Diablo's a free agent, so we're not trading him. I think he fits the system. I think Diablo could be a better player under Pete Carroll. It's just the development of the tackling, and maybe he could. What he's only played linebacker for 2 years, right? 2 years, 3 years. He was a safety all through college, so it's not like as much shit as I give the man. And believe me, nobody talks more shit about Divine Diablo than me. Like I got to be his worst critic, and it's just because of the tackling, bro. He has everything else. The man runs in a 4.4s, which is crazy. He's what 6'3", 250 pounds. The dude is a monster. He just can't wrap up and tackle. Now maybe he has short arms. I don't know. I never looked at the measurements. I don't know how far these new measurement things go back. I think maybe to last year combine, but I'm gonna have to try to find out the measurements on. Maybe he has small hands and small arms. I don't know, but again, Devon Diablo has not played linebacker very long, and maybe they could turn that shit around. Maybe they could get him where he could tackle. I don't know, but I think a lot of free agents are gonna walk, so I'm not worried about any of those guys. I don't really see anybody that we have on defense worth trading. I think there's a lot of free agents that we have that don't fit the scheme, and I think there's a couple guys on the roster that don't fit the scheme. But we'll save that tomorrow. We'll have to break it down. I'll have to pull up the roster and all that shit before I can tell you completely. My guy Arnie G. And trade wise, I don't think we have any value. Again, Rebel Facts, Kunson, Chase on, really good too. Quickness, bend, pressure, skill set. Yeah, they have all the techniques to be those dudes. Um, Graham's two linebackers are crap. Robert Spillane was second in the NFL in tackles and was first in the NFL in tackles for a linebacker. and had crazy numbers this year, the best ever in his career. So I don't know if he sucks. Diablo, I'm not gonna argue. Yeah, I wouldn't say he sucks. He just can't tackle, which I guess if you're looking at it that way and you're a linebacker and you can't tackle, you might suck. Graham's the two linebacker system. You don't like the 4-2-5? You're not a fan of the 4-2-5? Well, let me tell you something. I'm not a fan either. Um, yeah, I prefer to have three linebackers. You lose a defensive back. I mean, you have to have cover corners though. You have to have shut down dudes or dudes that could play, you know, in the what the hell am I trying to say? Play in the scheme, the zone scheme, cover 2, cover 3. We don't have guys that are fast enough, that are skilled enough, in my opinion, that are developed, enough. Maybe this combine we can get there. I thought DeCamry and Richardson played pretty well this year for being thrown into the fire. Uh, we don't know what we have in the what was the other guy? MJ Davonshire. We don't know what we got in MJ Davonshire, another kind of long, lengthy corner. So we might have the shutdown corners on the roster, but we could use more. You can never have too many. So I'm with you, bro. I agree. Like linebackers is big, but there's a lot of teams that run that 4-2-5 system now, and I don't like it. It's too many safeties, a lot of coverage, but so many teams just run spread offense, trips. I've never seen so many trips wide or trips left or trips bunch or trip fucking everything you could possibly think of. Then I seen this year. Everybody was running trips everything. So you kind of need, five defensive backs in coverage that can cover man to man and play zone. But I wouldn't be mad at a 4-3. Our backfield bottom 10 in your opinion? I think coverage wise, yeah. Tackling wise, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't disagree with you. I can't disagree, but Jacorian Bennett, his loss last year was huge. I mean, he was the shutdown. He was our shutdown corner last year. He was taking on positive necessary. He was covering their best receiver, not taking him on, but he was covering their best receiver pretty much all year after like the first game. So Jacorian Bennett we missed, and I thought the depth stepped up and played very well. We were 15th in the NFL in points allowed. Or yeah, points allowed, something like that. Yeah, points allowed. So we gave up a lot of yardage, but our defense was always was put in horrible positions with the turnovers by the quarterback, the turnovers by the running backs. Um, the fumbles, the interceptions. Our defense was constantly put in tough situations. But when our offense played well, you know, the defense played pretty decent field. Now we can use some other guys, but we also had one of the youngest backfields in the NFL. Like we lost Ebbs, we had to bring in Isaiah Palamau, who was only in second or third year, had minimal starts, minimal games, minimal grass time, pretty much in his career. So corners, we need DCAM to step up big time. DeCamari and Richardson, if that boy could step up and make the jump like Jacorian Bennett did from his year 1 to year 2, bro, we are solid. We are solid as hell. We're gonna have the nastiest defense, but that's a big if. You know, I thought he was a little stiff in the hips, but there were some guys. that we talked about at the combine this year that could very, very easily, be drafted in the same round, fourth, fifth round, and still come in and produce. That's what we need is produce, right? Nick Emmanuel, safety in the draft, can play coverage linebacker, killed it at the combine. Well, Arnie, my guy, you were late. And we talked about that earlier. No, I'm just fucking with you. But we did talk about that earlier. And yes, that was my standout guy in this combine. Um, he fits everything about a Pete Carroll Legion of Doom, Legion of Boom system, right? He's tall, he's got long arms, 6'3", 200 pounds, ran a 4.3. What do you run? A 4.38? Fucking 4.38, 4.39. Whatever he ran was ridiculous for his size. His comp was DJ Metcalf. So for a safety in Nick Emmanuel to be compared to a guy like DJ Metcalf is just an insane comp. And, the DNA was a match, bro. Every, height, width, 40 time, all that shit was pretty dead on. So I thought that comp was crazy to have a safety comped with a wide receiver. And I thought it was even more crazy and pretty fitting to have a safety that we need comp to a wide receiver like DJ Metcalf that happens to play for Seattle that Pete Carroll drafted. And Pete Carroll is now a Raider and has drafted a safety before in the first round. Cam Chancellor, I do believe, was drafted in the first round. So it's not, it wouldn't be a very big surprise if my boy Nick Emmanuel was was taken shit, maybe even sixth overall. No, they have to trade back. That'd be crazy to take him six, but I get you. I like that dude a lot. He balled the hell out. Bennett played better. Jones played worse. Morag, in my opinion, played good too. Injuries hurt our secondary. Injuries hurt our team. JB will get better. Can't wait to see that rookie safety. And we have Trey Taylor. Good point. I keep bringing this up also. We have Trey Taylor that was injured with the knee problem. When he came back in, he didn't get any grass time. And that's going to be another a problem for the Raiders, bro. I mean, for the NFL, that's going to be a big problem. Trey Taylor is a absolute missile. One of our biggest problems this year was not being able to tackle, and a lot of it was in the safety position until it took a while for Pal Mal, but there was some tackles he missed. There was a lot of tackles where Trayvon Morey got juked out of his shoes. I'm not gonna lie, and there was some tackles where he missed too. But then, I mean, when you have 107 tackles as a safety playing 98% of the snaps, I'm not gonna cry about a couple whiffs for Trayvon. Um, what else? 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 Like, subscribe, follow. If you want to become a member, you gotta click on the channel because I didn't put the link up again. What a pitch, right? What a pitch. What a pitch. Rebel, imagine drafting Imani Worry and trading fifth. Wait, what? And trade fifth round pick for Metcalf on our team. That would be crazy. That would be a dream situation. And if you have a DJ Metcalf, I would start Aiden O'Connell absolutely 100% without a question. Like, I wouldn't even worry. I mean, I'd draft a quarterback, of course, let him sit and learn. Bring in a veteran, to kind of groom him around while he's, on the practice squad or while he's holding the clipboard and the veterans on the practice squad, however that works out. But damn, if you get a weapon like that, Brock Bowers, Jacoby Meyer, with DJ Metcalf, come on. I think Aiden could win those games, bro. I'd be all for that. I'd be all for that. And I would trade a fifth for DJ Metcalf and a heartbeat. Now, people were saying a second or a third before, but then it's, his contract, bro. You have to look at his contract. It's absolutely just crazy, crazy, crazy. Um, uh, so yeah, I want to pull this up. I just want to go over this because, you know, we've had these arguments. And shout out to the 5 people in the chat. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. 2 hours now. I didn't want to be on this long. Damn. Um, but we hear all this talk about quarterbacks. Jaxson Dart, is he or isn't he a first round pick? Is he a second round pick? Are you reaching in the first round if you take a Jaxson Dart or a Riley Leonard? Which, I mean, he made to the national championship. I don't even think Riley Leonard is a reach. But let's pull this up. However, I don't like how that's sitting. Okay, I like that one better. Um, so let's pull this up. Now, there's been talk, right? Lots of talk. Is Riley? I mean, Riley Leonard. Is Jaxson Dart? Is there a quarterback number 3? Is there, that dude at quarterback 1? Which everybody seems to say no. There's no quarterback 1. You don't have that dude, right? So, is Jaxson Dart a reach taking him in the first round? Whether it be at number 6, whether it be at number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it doesn't matter where it's at. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think Jaxson Dart is a reach? And this is why I say this. That's why I'm asking, why I bring this up. In 2024, drafted in the first round, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Michael Penix, JJ McCarthy, Bo Nix. Now, if I look at all these guys and the years they had, they all pretty much had better seasons and better, better shit than Jaxson Dart. I'm not gonna lie, but he could probably, you know, pretty damn close with the Bo Nix with the running ability. I don't think he has, the arm strength that Bo Nix has acquired. Now, I don't think Bo Nix had the arm strength in the combine that he does now. It seems to me that the dude got in the gym, uh, got on a good diet and packed on some muscle, was killing it. So that's the first round there. Then nobody even goes till the 5th round. Spencer Rattler, Jordan Travis, Joe Milton, who I would trade for in a heartbeat. You asked me earlier what players would I trade for, Arnie. Joe Milton. I would give a whatever they want. 5th round, 4th round. If it's less, great. If it's not, I mean, you can't ask for much more. You drafted him in the 7th, right? But he does have a whole lot of upside, a crazy arm. He's better than a Jalen Milroe, in my opinion. Joe Milton is way better and way farther along than Jalen Milroe. So, but anyways, Joe Milton drafted in the 6th round. Then we have 2023. You have Bryce Young, drafted number 1 overall, was absolute crazy. CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson goes in the 1st round. Pick number 4. I thought it was 3rd, but whatever, I was wrong. Pick number 4, Will Levis. Some said he was a 1st round pick. Some said he wasn't. He drops to the very first pick of the 2nd round. The Titans moved up, pick him up. Hendon Hooker falls to the 3rd. The next draft, Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ritter, Malik Willis. Oh, Kenny Pickett drafted in the 1st. All these guys drafted in the 3rd. Desmond Ritter, Malik Willis, Matt Carroll, Bailey Zappi in the 4th, Sam Howell in the 5th. Now, if you can sit there and tell me, Cat, what are you doing back there? I hope she don't unplug my shit. If you could sit there and tell me that what you've seen on tape, if you've watched tape from Jackson Dart and what you've seen at the combine, that he's not better than Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ritter. Um, let's even go down to the next year. Trevor Lawrence drafted in the first round. Zach Wilson drafted in the first round. Trey Lance drafted in the first round. Justin Fields, Mac Jones. Now, I could make a very clear argument, just stat wise, that he's up there with Mac Jones. He's a way better passer than Justin Fields. I'm not going to say ever will be, but at 25, he was drafted, in the NFL young, um, college young, came out early, probably not the greatest thing. So, at 25, Jackson Dart is miles above Justin Fields, in my opinion. In my opinion. So if you're going to pay Justin Fields $6 or $10 million for 1 year, or sign him to a 2 or 3 year contract for 20 or 30 mil, making Baker Mayfield money, to me that's wild. To me that's absolutely wild. When you can just, take a shot at number 6 or trade back into the 12 or 20 or wherever and take Jackson Dart there. So if you go back even farther, now they're saying he's a second round pick. Guys taken in the second round. Kyle Trask. Come on. He's better than Kyle Trask. There was nobody taken in the second round in 2022. Will Levis, 2023. Who else? Nobody last year taken in the second round. So go back even farther. Joe Burrow. No, I'm not saying Jackson Dart is Joe Burrow. No, he didn't have a Joe Burrow season. But damn, Tua Tagovailoa, first round pick. Justin Herbert, first round pick. Jordan Love, first round pick. Now these guys coming out of college, you could say Jackson Dart is up there with all of them. All of them. Second round pick, Jalen Hurts. I mean, that was his comp last night at the combine. If you watch the combine, his comp, Nez, what's good? Appreciate you pulling up. If you watch the comp for Jackson Dart last night at the combine, it was Jalen Hurts out of Oklahoma, who was drafted in the second round. Go back even farther. Kyler Murray. I mean, how can you say Jackson Dart is not up there with Kyler Murray? Go back and look at their numbers. Go back and watch their games. Daniel Jones, out of Duke, drafted in the first round. Dwayne Haskins. Come on, bro. Drafted in the first round. And you're going to sit there and tell me, as a respectful person, content creator, beat writer, reporter, that Jackson Dart does not deserve first round talk. It just baffles me. It baffles me. Second round, Drew Lock. He's got to be up there with that dude. Will Grainer, that's not even, come on, not even. 2018, Baker Mayfield drafted in the first round. Go compare Oklahoma numbers and Texas Tech too, right? Didn't he play at Texas Tech, Baker Mayfield? But go compare his numbers to Jackson Dart and go watch some of their games. Very, very, very similar. Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Josh Rosen. Come on. Mason Rudolph drafted in the third. He's up there with all of these guys. Now, if Shador Sanders compared to a lot of these guys, bro, I don't know if I could sit there and say he's better or could be better than a lot of these guys. Like a lot of them are more athletic, played for way tougher fucking divisions, SEC, Big 10. We need a quarterback, right? If the Raiders feel like that's their biggest need, they need a quarterback and they have to take one this year. They can't wait till next year. They need one to develop. And they feel like Jackson Dart is their guy. Are they have him high on their board? Why wouldn't you take him at 6? I mean, who else are you gonna take at 6? Who else are you gonna take? You're gonna take Terrell McMillan? I'm not taking a wide receiver. You're gonna take Ashton Genty? I'm not taking a running back. You're gonna take a defensive tackle when we have, Adam Butler, maybe Christian Wilkins, Jonah Lalu. It's not really a need. I mean, you could take one there at 6, but it doesn't make sense when you need a quarterback. Um, are you going to take a safety? Is there a safety really in this draft that you could take at the 6th position? I don't think so. So to me, the only position that you could take at the number 6 spot would be a quarterback. Jackson Dart, Shador Sanders, if they're there. I mean, that's not who I want, but I mean, if he's there, Cam Ward if he falls. Jackson Dart to me has just proven with the teams he's played, look at his numbers, look at his footwork, look how he's improved every year under Lane Kiffin. That if you're taking guys like, let's even go here, Mitch Trubinsky, 2017. Patrick Mahomes. Okay, Patrick Mahomes. They moved up to get Patrick Mahomes. Right? Go back and look at Patrick Mahomes' tape. Go back and look about his combine and look what everybody was saying about Patrick Mahomes. Nobody was willing to move up. He wasn't on anybody's boards in the top 10. I don't even think Patrick Mahomes was on many people's boards in the first round. A lot of them had him in the second and third round. What happened? The Kansas City Chiefs said, hell no, move up, take this kid, right? They moved up to take him. They didn't even just, they had to move up. They gave capital to go get that dude. So people have made way bigger choices than taking a Jackson Dart at 6. And I think if you really feel that that's your guy, you don't even have to move up if you're the Raiders. He's going to fall in your lap. And if you don't take him at 6, he's not going to be there at 10. He's not going to be there at 12. He might be at 12, but he's not going to be there at 15 or 20 or 25. With the way the NFL drafts and the mistakes the NFL makes when it comes to drafting, you can't tell me that Jackson Dart is going to be there in the first round and somebody's not going to take him. When the same thing was said with Patrick Mahomes, the same thing was said with the Deshaun Watson, not Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson in the other draft. Lamar Jackson fell all the way to 32. Why? Because he was like Jalen Milroe. They didn't think he could pass. They didn't think he could, have more touchdowns than interceptions. They knew he had the athleticism, and a lot of teams missed on him. Look how many teams failed because they didn't go get Lamar Jackson. How many teams are going to fail because they didn't take a chance on Jackson Dart? 31. 31. I guarantee you. Do you want to be part of that 31? No, you don't. So, looking at these numbers, bro, you can't logically tell me he is not worth a 6th round pick. So, absolutely 100%, I would take him at 6. I would take him, if it cost me my job, which I don't think Spytek's got to worry about that. I don't think this is a situation, you're going to have to run it by the big guy anyways. And if he did get taken at 6, Brady would be okay with it, or he wouldn't be taken at 6. So I don't think it's going to cost anybody a job. It would be, everybody all in. It fits the bill of what Chip Kelly wants to do. It fits the bill of, Pete Carroll's MO with all the quarterbacks he's ever had, mobile guys. They're not the biggest, not the strongest, not the fastest, don't have the strongest arm, but they have intelligence to make the right decisions, put your team in the right position to win, and make plays when you're called upon to make the plays. And I think Jackson Dart can do that. Thank you, Rebel. You're the first to agree with me taking Dart at 6. I don't think he'll be around if we wait. No, no, no. He's not. He's not going to be around, bro. Titans, Brown, Giants all need quarterbacks as bad as we do, and top 3 picks all quarterbacks. Um, top 3 picks aren't going to be quarterbacks. I don't believe the Titans are taking a quarterback. I think they're going to roll with Will Levis. I think Will Levis, um, and whatever. I don't care what people think. I think Will Levis gets that, that rap like Aiden O'Connell does. He was put on a. I'm not that Aiden O'Connell was put on a shit team, but um, he was thrown to the fire. A lot of people said he shouldn't be drafted in the first round. A lot of people said they reached at Will Levis, the first pick in the second round. But the Titans felt like that was that guy, like that was his guy. Well, that coach is no longer around. That GM is no longer around. But Will Levis is still there for a reason because they evaluated the dude. They know they traded Travis Henry, one of the best running backs in the entire NFL, which would have helped that kid's development. You let him go. You bring in Pollard, Pollard. You bring in Pollard from Dallas. I mean, nothing against the man, but come on, that's your starting number one, you know, franchise guy is Damian Pollard, bro. So you let him go. You know, you let your receiver go, top name receiver, um, go to Kansas City, help them get to another Super Bowl. Uh, you know, you can't draft a quarterback and then get rid of all the weapons that are supposed to help him. They don't have a solid offensive line, so I think the Titans, not to just keep going on one subject, but I think the Titans could very well stick with Will Levis because they're a team unlike the Raiders that have faith in developing guys to see what guys got, and they also have the intelligence to know this guy has never been given the right shot. He has no running game. He has no receivers. What are you supposed to do as a quarterback, as a young quarterback that's learning the NFL with nobody to help you along? So I don't see them taking a quarterback. The Browns are still up in the air. I mean, the that's all, folks. The Deshaun Watson shit, they're paying a guy 240 something mil who's hurt every year. He's not even playing. Can you afford to go pay a free agent? No. Are they going to let Jameis Winston go? They're stupid if they do, in my opinion. So I would keep Jameis Winston. I wouldn't even draft a quarterback if I was them. They have the what the hell's his name? The quarterback from UCLA, the 3 name kid. Okay. I'm horrible. Dorian Thompson Robinson. So, um, wait, no, they don't have him. Yeah, the Browns have Dorian Thompson Robinson. So, you can develop that kid, see what he has. I thought he wasn't bad at UCLA. So I don't see, the Browns' number one need is a quarterback, but you don't know what's going on with Deshaun Watson. So they're kind of between a rock and a hard place. I just don't see him drafting one. Would that be the best move for him? I mean, if you don't think Dorian Thompson that you drafted in the 5th round, you know, is ever going to be that guy, then you probably should take a quarterback and just cut Deshaun Watson and move on from that completely. But who knows? He probably has a no cut clause too. Who knows? Um, and then the Giants. I think the Giants really like Jaxson Dart. I Ernest, what's good, my guy? I believe, and from what I'm hearing, is um what the hell the Giants head coach and their GM really like Jaxson Dart. He killed it in the interview. You know, You did so I think with Shador falling, if Cleveland or if the Titans or the Browns do decide to go with Cam Ward, look for the Giants to maybe pull the trigger. I mean, look at Daniel Jones's film to Jackson Dart's film in college. I mean, I don't know what y'all would take, but to me, I still would take Jackson Dart. So, they took Daniel Jones, what, number one overall, somewhere in the first round. Was absolutely crazy. I don't know what the Giants are going to do. It's hard to say. I thought they were going to be all in on the Matthew Stafford thing. I don't see that happening. I think the Giants, to me, what makes sense is, um, you know, keeping Aaron Rodgers in New York. Right? He was just with the Jets. Bring him over to the Giants. Draft your quarterback, whether it be in the first round, in the second round, third round. They need a quarterback. They need a franchise quarterback bad. And they traded their franchise running back. So the Giants have a lot of problems, bro. That GM, as much as I think he's a decent GM, from watching on Hard Knocks, I kind of like the guy. Their coach, I don't like too much. Never have been a fan of that dude. Um, but their GM it might not have a job very soon. Like, his coach is not helping him out. They make bad decisions. They drafted Daniel Jones in the first round. They got rid of him. Um, the Giants are in trouble, so they could go a bunch of different ways. I don't know. I don't know if they need a quarterback. So the Raiders could be a good spot. We've seen a bunch of mock drafts where Cam Ward's not taking number one. Cam Ward's taking third or fourth. Shador's still there on the board. If that's the scenario, do the Raiders jump up to third to get a Cam Ward if they believe that's their guy? I mean, there's so many scenarios at this combine. It's crazy. It's crazy. Howdy, what's good? What's good, my guy? The combine thoughts. Was pretty good. There's plenty of meat and potatoes out there. What was your best position? What do you think? I mean, okay, not running back. No, okay, I won't take anyway. What do you think is the sneakiest position? I won't say best. Dart definitely showed up on the board, and Riley Leonard also. See, shout out my guy. Now, a man that knows football says Dart definitely showed out, and Riley Leonard. Now, I like it. Nobody ever agrees with me on the Riley Leonard shit, um, except my 93 Nav man that was in my chat the other day. But other than that, nobody agrees with me on Riley Leonard, bro. I think Riley Leonard is that dude. Um, you thought QB was cool? Who was your standout? I was impressed. I was impressed. I said it at the beginning of the show. I was impressed. I think more this year than last year, and I don't know if it was the downplay of the draft, because everybody said defensive tackle and linebackers were the deepest and the best positions in this draft. And I think it kind of downplayed the safeties, the corners, the offensive line, and maybe that got to those guys and kind of rubbed them the wrong way, because I thought everybody came out with a chip on their shoulder, like, especially when it comes to the DBs and the 40 times. I mean, everybody looked like they was drinking Red Bull. Everybody had wings. They were flying through the 40s. The big men were flying through the 40s. You got 320 pounders running sub 540s. Jeez Louise. So to me, this was a very, very not exciting, but surprising. I was very surprised at the amount of talent at wide receiver when everybody said this is the weakest class. I think this is one of the fastest receiver classes I could ever remember in my 49 years of being alive. And, not that I did the combine that young, because I don't even think I had internet that long. So, I mean, I know I ain't had internet that long, but um, there's a lot of good football players. There's a lot of good receivers. The safety room was crazy, and that's another reason why, as much as I love Trayvon Moreg, for 15 mil, you know, 3 years, 46 million dollars, I would have to move on. And I hate to say it. I hate to say it, but the safeties were just nasty in this draft. They were fast as hell. They were, you know, you can't say physical because they ain't doing much shit, but from what I've seen on tape from the guys, physicality, the the athleticism, dude, the high jump and the long jump for some of these guys were crazy. The speeds in the shuttle were absolutely insane. So I think it's one of the most underrated drafts in a long time. Like, there's a bunch of guys that impressed the shit out of me at guard, at tackle, that I never even did that I never did tape on. Like, I never even brought them up because they were names that weren't mentioned, or weren't on anybody's list. And unless you go on the list of everybody at the combine and go through every single one, which that's crazy because there's a lot. So I try to pick and choose, but dude, there was a lot of guys that I never even watched a bit of film on, um, that I was impressed with, especially on the offensive line. Like I said, that um, Carson Vincent. I thought Carson Vincent was physical as hell, was fast, and Jared Wilson, the guard from Georgia, again, for y'all pulling up new. Uh, those are some scary dudes. Those are some scary dudes at the offensive line that I didn't see nothing about. So was very impressed on that. My guy LVR says, at Tyler, I've been saying the same thing. Dart is a top 5 pick. He is easily third best quarterback, and argue QB, and arguments can be made that Dart is the best quarterback in the draft. The To me, there is no argument. I just don't see it. I don't see an argument. I don't see an argument whatsoever. I think he's better than Cam Ward, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say it. I think Dart is better than Cam Ward. He's better than Shador. Now, there's certain aspects that both of them, have, that might be better than each other, but all around, if you look at, the teams they played for, the defenses they went against, you also have to look into the fact that Shador Sanders had three receivers in this, coming out, that are two receivers coming out, maybe three, I think. I could be wrong, but I think it's three. Um, that are going to go pretty high on this draft, that are top receivers in the NFL, and one of them, of course, is going to go in the top 5, if not number 1 overall. So if you're throwing to the number 1 receiver in the draft, same thing I said about Jaden Daniels last year, throwing to Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr., they're gonna make you look good, bro. They're gonna clean up so much shit that people aren't gonna notice. They're gonna notice your mechanics, your throwing motion, your footwork, your hips. If you're leaning on your front foot, if you're throwing off your back foot, but they're not gonna notice, you know, how bad the timing was or the accuracy if you have a damn good receiver to make you look good. And I thought that was Brian Thomas Jr. and Malik Neighbors last year for Jaden Daniels, and they got the same. He got the same thing. Shador got the same thing over there. Now on the other hand, and you got to look at Cam Ward. I mean, Cam Ward's got the hell his receiver's name is, broke every record I think there is to break in Miami with Michael Irvin, Odell. What's it? I don't even know. I can't even remember all the guys that played Miami alums, but there's some big names on there. Marvin Harrison, I think. Miami. Did he play at Miami? I don't know. I can't remember the names, but there's a lot of big names that fuck is this the receiver's name? Anyways, whatever the receiver's name is for Miami that Cam Ward was throwing to. So you got a damn good receiver over there, whatever the hell yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, one thing Jackson Dart did not have, his number one receiver didn't even play in half the games either year. Last year he got hurt. This year he got hurt. He still had 1,000 yards in half a season. So Jackson Dart didn't have all the weapons everybody thinks he had around him. He had to make a lot of plays himself, and the run game was solid as hell. He had pretty decent run game behind him, but he was a big part of that run game also. So I think you have to measure in those factors. Oh damn, I don't know why I'm talking with this still up, but all right, couple more years. I'm gonna get off here. 2 hours and 30 minutes. I never get off when I say I'm going to. Um, so we did the mid. Sorry, so 2016. I just wanted to go through these. So Jared Goff went in the first round. Peyton Lynch. I'll repeat. Peyton Lynch. Peyton Lynch, first round quarterback. But Jackson Dart isn't a first round pick. Come on, man. Christian Hackenberg was a second round pick. Jacoby Brissett didn't even go to the third round. Dak Prescott went to the fourth. Arkansas Razorback Brendan Allen went in the sixth. That dude's still in the NFL. I can't believe that. 2015, Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota. Now, I don't know if I'd say Dart's better than Winston. That dude had a hell of a crazy college career. But you can put him up there. I mean, you can definitely compare him in a category and say that it's hard to choose a one or a two. Mariota, the same thing. Now, I know Mariota killed it in Oregon with Chip Kelly, but in the NFL, it was a different story, right? Totally different story. 2014, bro. Blake Bortles, Johnny Manziel, Teddy Bridgewater. And some of these teams moved up to get these quarterbacks, right? They weren't sitting at these spots. They weren't sitting at wait, how did they all take 30 third, 22nd, Bridgewater 32, Derek Carr drafted second overall in the fourth. I can see us doing that this year. EJ Manuel was the only quarterback in the first round in 2013 for the Buffalo Bills. Bro, the Buffalo Bills took EJ Manuel in the first round in 2016. Now I know he had a damn good year at Florida State, but come on, man. You can't tell me Jackson Dart is not up there with that kid. Yeah, that's what I said. Second round pick, uh fourth pick in the second round is what I meant. This the first row is their picks. You know what I'm saying, bro. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Uh Landon Jackson, Arkansas. Yes, the man killed it. Mr. Clean himself was just murdering it. And he was did you hear the smack on the bags? Like man was lighting them bags up. So Landon Castle, y'all know. If you don't know, now you know. I'm a huge Arkansas Razorback fan. I raised my kids in Arkansas. I moved back to Arkansas. Came out here in high school. Dad lives out here, so big Arkansas fan. Landon Jackson killed it. Maxwell Harrison is a freak of nature, bro. Like I would draft that dude in the second round probably. But seeing how we have, such a high pick in the second round, I don't know, but probably still. And I think Pete Carroll would too. I mean, he did draft a Cam Chancellor, and I'm not saying Maxwell Harrison is a Cam Chancellor, but um, Golden, yes, Golden killed it. That 40 time was ridiculous, and he was already on the Raiders board. Like they already have him on their top 50, top 100, whatever it is. So yes, he definitely shined. First round though, I mean, I don't know. I'm not taking Matthew Golden at 6. That's scary. Maxwell Harrison at 6, it would be scary. Um, but I think Harrison's going to go in the first round. I know Golden's probably, going in the first round. Um, I'm still hashing it out, but there's some fast dudes. Yes, over 300 pounds. There was a lot. Actually, shit, we don't even have to hash it out. We can just break it down real quick, and then I'll get off here. But let me show you the rest of these quarterbacks. So Andrew Luck, Robert Griffin, Ryan Flippin Tannehill, Brendan Whedon. Come on, bro. Ryan Tannehill was taken 8th overall. Jake Locker, bro. Jake Locker was taken 8th overall. You don't think the Raiders could take Sam Jackson fucking Dart, the 6th pick? Come on, bro. Stop with the cap. Stop with the hate. Stop with the nonsense. Stop. Everybody in the nation has been bitching. We need a mobile quarterback. We need a guy that can make plays with his legs. He can fucking do that. We need a guy that has accuracy. He's got it. We need a guy that's tough, that's going to, not go to the sideline every time he gets tackled. He's got it. What more do you need from Jaxson Dart? I mean, come on, bro. Draft him at 6. Stop being stupid. Stop with the nonsense and the hate in the nation. Take this kid at 6. If you don't, you're going to regret it. Somebody's going to. They're going to do the same thing they did with all these quarterbacks in this draft, but one of them being the biggest, and Josh Allen, being taken at 7. And they said the same thing. Oh, that's crazy. That's a reach. Well, we're picking at 6. That's one behind 7. And I would be absolutely ecstatic if we drafted Jaxson Dart at 6. Like I don't care. We could figure it out. However, if there's a team that's willing to trade back with us, I would much rather go that route. I would take him at 6, but if you could take Jaxson Dart at 12 and get a second round and a third round, or a third and a fifth, or whatever it is, I mean, you have to go that route. If you could get a third and, whatever it is, but more picks, the better. I'm taking that route. Definitely, I'm calling, if anybody's calling me for that 6th pick, I'm taking, all calls. I'm definitely listening and entertaining whatever they have to say. So that's my opinion on it. Jaxson Dart is him. Jaxson Dart is gonna be him if he gets the chance. And if he goes to the right team. The Raiders, it just makes sense, bro. The Raiders is the perfect spot for Jaxson Dart. We have weapons. We have Brock Bowers. He likes to throw over the middle. He's damn good at throwing the ball over the middle. He's damn good at anticipation and timing routes. He's coming into a team that only needs a quarterback, a running back, and we could fly with the offense. I mean, yeah, it could be revamped. It could use a couple of improvements. It could use a number 1 receiver. It could use another guard. It could use, maybe a better tackle if we could get one. But if not, you could rock with Jaxson Dart as a rookie if you had to. I wouldn't force it. I wouldn't try to ruin the kid if we didn't need to. But you can rock with Aiden O'Connell and have Jaxson Dart as a backup waiting in the wings if anything happens to Aiden. are bringing a veteran, a cheap veteran, you know, that could fill those shoes like a Carson Wentz. Like I've said a million times, Carson Wentz is that cheap dude that would definitely help this team. Jaden Higgins, Matthew Golden, and stud wide receiver Trey Harris is a weapon. He didn't even get hurt. Uh, is a weapon if he didn't get hurt so much. I don't think the hurt is, I've talked about it before. There's a different kind of hurt. No, there's a fragile like glass, China doll type hurt where kind of how I feel about Aiden O'Connell, just the way he was rolling around on the ground when he landed on his knee. I thought he broke his back, snapped his leg in half. Nobody knew what the problem was. Dude got carted off, found out it was a knee bruise. That's China doll fragile shit. That's the only thing that scares me about Aiden O'Connell. So you have that fragile, um, and then injury prone, and then you have, guys that just play too hard, guys that go 120%, that are in every pile, that are trying to not go out of bounds and take, that extra one step or that half a yard. And I think Trey Harris fits that category. If you look at his injuries, they were in tackles. It was him just not willing to go down, and trying to make more plays. So I don't knock guys for that. Sometimes you get, freak injuries happen. And take it from me, bro. I had a dude, when I played running back in high school, I had a dude head on dive into my knee, which he told me he was going to do. Kind of shitty. But dive head on into my knee and it bent 90 degrees one way. And then like 6 people fell on my knee and it went 90 degrees the other way. So my running back career was done. Kind of like a um, Kaufman type shit. Was it Kaufman that got his leg all bent up like that? So yeah, it was nasty, nasty shit. And sometimes, it's just that freak shit happens. So I think Trey Harris is going to be that dude in the NFL if he can stay healthy, and that's a big if with the injuries he's had. Like I said, you missed a half a season one year, half a season the next year, but you still put up 1,000 yards. Like that's special. That's very damn special in my opinion. Rebel, where do you rank Dart in last year's draft after Daniels, Penix, and Knicks? Fuck. All right, this ain't too hard. He has more experience than JJ McCarthy. He played in way more games than JJ McCarthy. Um, he had way more snaps under center than JJ McCarthy, so I'll give him the plus on that. Uh, Mobile wise, I think JJ McCarthy is faster. Um, Elusive, slipperiness, wiggle. I think they're kind of the same. Again, JJ McCarthy's still younger than Dart. He's already been in the NFL for a year. So where JJ McCarthy goes, sixth, right? Sixth. I mean, I'd put him in the same category as JJ McCarthy, pretty much. He makes good decisions. He has about the same arm. Um, he has a better build, a better physique for taking the punishment in the NFL. Um, he didn't quite have as many snaps as a Bo Nix. He only played for 2 colleges. He didn't get too much snaps at UCLA with Chip Kelly. So, um, I mean, you got to compare him right there with a Bo Nix. Now, Bo Nix doesn't have the strongest arm in the NFL. He's not the fastest guy. You I put him neck and neck with Bo Nix. Drake May, I think, size wise, arm strength wise, I don't know if I'd say Drake May is better than him either. I mean, I don't. Jaden Daniels, 100%, 100% better. Um, Caleb Williams, if you look at Caleb Williams' senior year, he was not better than Jackson Dart. not by a long shot. I mean, even the great year that he had his junior year, it wasn't much better than Jaxson Dart. So I mean, I'd put him up there. I'd put him in the top 10 last year too. I really would. I really would. And it's not being a stand because I'm not an Old Miss fan. I don't like Old Miss. I'm an Arkansas Razorbacks fan. They beat our ass every time we played lately. So I'm not trying to hype up Jaxson Dart. I'm not even like I don't even like the kid. I think in some of his interviews he came off maybe a little bit too high on himself. I didn't think he was quite like that. Um, in the interview after the Razorbacks game, where I think he was player of the game, he didn't come off like that. Now, maybe the talks get into his head. So, look, I'm not even big on his character. I just think he has potential. I think his game speaks for itself, and you could literally put him up there with all those guys. You know, I mean, I don't know. Ask ChatGPT to shit. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Maybe I'll ask see if ChatGPT could whip me up something comparing all the quarterbacks drafted last year in the top 10 and the quarterbacks the year before and the year before. I don't know. I'll work on it. I will get that done. We are going on 3 hours. I got to get the hell off of here. My eyes are burning, starting to cry, getting tears in my shit. Um, but yeah, Arnie, that's a damn good question. Gives me something to do for tomorrow. So yeah, we will work that up. Jaden Higgins, Matthew Golden are stud wide receivers. Trey Harris is a weapon. I got to that already. Derek Carr, I got to that. LVR, I really like Dart. Think he's the guy. Um, he's got the best attitude and would be the most coachable. He does have, I mean, he does have a good attitude, but you know, he came off just a little iffy in the last couple of interviews to me. Asking him why he thinks he should be the number one quarterback, which I don't want to say he definitely isn't arrogant. I don't want to say cocky. Um, I think his confidence is growing, right? But but it's not over the top. It's not over the top like some of the quarterbacks in this draft. I'm not mentioning any names. PFF has an argument for Jaxson Dart as a top 15 pick, improved every year in college. So, um, let me ask you this then, Arnie, and I'm trying to get the hell off here. What's the difference? What's the difference between 15 and 6? If you have them projected as a um if you have them if PFF has them projected as a top 15 pick, what's the difference between 6 and 15? If you're willing to take them at 15 and you don't have any trade candidates, why wouldn't you pull the trigger at 6? Who are you going to take above that? That's a question you got to ask. The question I got to ask. My guy Ernest says, I see Dart reconnecting with JPJ. Talk that shit, Arnie. As JPJ's ass soon. 1000%. I love it. I love it. I love it. So Rebel. Dart at 6. Pick or trade with Dallas 12. Pick plus 44 for the 6th pick to draft him. I'm trading with Dallas. I'm trading with Dallas 100%. I'm trading with Dallas. They're going to give us 12. They're going to give us 44. In the mock draft I did, they also gave us 60 something, which was a 3rd round pick. So if they see there's somebody high enough that they want to move 6 spots and they're willing to give up three picks this year, or even or even 2 picks this year, I'm trading with Dallas. John Leon, what's good, my guy? Appreciate you pulling up. Um, make sure nobody else is in here. That I missed. So yeah, I'm trading with Dallas 100%. Arnie, Cowboys want Genty bad. I don't know. if they're faking the funk on that shit and they're trying to run the screen game and not show their cards, but it would make sense. I mean, it would make all the sense in the world, and everybody and their mom has them, you know, mock draft to the Raiders at 6, which is absolutely wild to me. But if Dallas wants him that bad, and like I said before, there's even teams like the Buffalo Bills or the Bengals. Um, what other teams that I'm trying to think of? I'm drawing a blank, but there's other teams, that are right there at that playoff point that might want to move up to 6 to get their defensive tackle or to get their running back of the future or their wide receiver in a Matthew Golden that runs golden 45s. There, it could be. Um, yes, the trade back with Dallas is prime for a dark pick, absolutely 100%. And if that trade is offered and they don't make that trade, bro, I might have to find a new team. I'm just kidding. Would you trade Andy? No, no, no. Would you take Andy Dalton even as a serviceable backup mentor role? They just signed Andy Dalton. I do believe they just re-signed him, so he's not going anywhere. But I mean, if he was available and a free agent this year, the way he played against us in a serviceable backup role, yes, I think he would, push whatever quarterbacks we have um, in the offseason to be better. Oh, don't put that out there, Tyler. Come on. Damn it. And I've been thinking the same thing. Shouldn't even show this, but I will. I'm a, yeah. I forgot to remove that. Why didn't somebody say something? Damn. What a horrible content creator I am. Um, but Jets could take Dart at 7. And I don't know why they wouldn't. I don't know why they wouldn't, really. I don't know why they wouldn't. I don't know why the Browns wouldn't take him at number 2. I don't know why the Giants wouldn't take him at number 3. I'm really getting the feeling that we're not going to get Jaxson Dart. I don't see him making it to 6. Now, I could be wrong. It's happened once in 49 years. If you believe that, I got some property I'll sell you. it's a gold mine. But no, real talk. Pigs, what's good? What's good? So the Jets would be absolutely stupid not to take Jaxson Dart at 7, needing a quarterback, moving on from Aaron Rodgers. Keep Devontae in the building with with Wilson. Come on, bro, Garrett Wilson. The Jets are a playoff team overnight. I mean, my opinion. You get a better offensive line. You got a pretty damn good running back. Add to that, I mean, shit. I would be mad at it. My guy John Leon in the building says there's rumors that we are talking to the Titans to move up to the number 1 pick. Wait, the Titans for the number 1 pick. Would you trade Crosby and possibly Mayer for that number 1 pick later? No, 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 John Leon. No, no, no. Come on. That we only got to move up 5 spots. We don't need to trade Max Crosby for that pick at all. Like he don't even need to be in the conversation. They are only probably going to want. I mean, they're only falling 5 spots. They're only going to want our 6th pick, and I mean, maybe a second next year, and probably our 3rd and a 5th or something. A 3rd and a 4th. I don't even know if it's going to be that costly to move up to number 1 this year. So I don't know. I don't know, but no, I wouldn't trade Crosby. not to get for the number one pick, because I really feel like if they move up to number one, they sure the hell ain't taking Jackson Dart. I think they're taking Cam Ward, and no, 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 no. I'm not. I'm not risking that. I'm not moving up to take a defensive edge in an Abdul Carter when there's just way too many guys on this combine list that you could take, that you could get great value from, like a lot of great value. So no, no, I'm not trading Crosby. But if there's talks that, Jackson Dart's going to go top 5 and you have to move up to get him, I wouldn't trade draft capital. I wouldn't trade draft capital. I'd trade the 6th round pick for the number 1, and I would throw in like a Michael Mayer or, you know, somebody of that caliber. Zamir White, one of them cats. I'd definitely go that round. But looking like Jackson Dart, the last 3 seasons, started great stats, passing, rushing. Why is he ranked so low in different media rankings? 54 to 100. I don't know. I don't know why the prospects are ranked so whacked. It's crazy to me. But when I look at that kid, and I've even watched plays like side by side on 2 different screens of Jackson Dart, Cam Ward, and Shador, and I don't see the talk of there's only 2 first round quarterbacks. And if you've been on this channel, for the last 6 months I've been saying there's 3 or 4 quarterbacks in this draft that could easily go in the first round, easily, depending on teams' needs. Would you trade back with Seattle and get both Metcalf and Hal, and then pick Dart at 18? That would be crazy. Yes. 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 I would do that. Thoughts on Jackson Dart? Pro day, he will push him up the board. Titans, Sanders, Brown, um, Brown Ward, Giants Dart. Yeah, I think the Giants are going to be all in on a Jackson Dart. But man, it's going on 3 hours. I appreciate y'all. Don't forget to hit them likes. Come talk to me tomorrow. What are we doing tomorrow, Arnie? Gotta write this shit down. Are you subscribed to my Instagram, bro? Message me, because I can't remember shit. I think they rank players lower sometimes to be missed for other teams. Yeah, so that guy will fall to him. I agree 100% with that. Um, some of these dudes doing ranking favors certain teams. I get that. I get that. I've seen that. I could see that with a lot of these guys, bro. A lot of these guys. So, all right, man. Appreciate y'all pulling up. As always, Raiders. Much love. Stay blessed. Much success. Like, subscribe, follow if you're not already. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace. Break down the quarterback rankings from last year. Oh yeah, got you. Dart and AOC from last year. Yes. So join us tomorrow for the quarterback rankings. All right, man. I'm out. Peace. Much love.